A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Ironized Yeast presents
Lights Out, everybody.
Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you calmly, but sincerely, to turn off your radio now. This is Frank Martin. Before bringing you the final Lights Out play tonight, a word from Ironized Yeast. Friends, are you getting all you could get out of life? Or are you so run down, weak, and on edge these war days that good fortune, good friends, and good fun often pass you by? Well, if vitamin B1 and iron shortage is what's to blame, try Ironized Yeast tablets. They give you these exact two substances. They've been of splendid benefit to people who used to suffer from these shortages. Today, these people tell of glorious pep, strength, and needed pounds regained. So now they can really enjoy life again. That's right. The name is Ironized Yeast Tablets. And now,
Lights Out, everybody.
Miss Goddard, answer the phone, please.
Yes, Mr. Obler. Yes? Oh, yes, Miss Harrison. Here he is. Mr. Obler?
Yes?
Miss Harrison.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Joan. How's the Phantom Lady? Oh, yeah. Yeah, am I in trouble? Well, the last Light's Out. I just don't know what to write about. Oh, no, I got plenty of ideas, but... Oh, well, men dying in foxholes, and what am I doing? Thinking of fantastic... Well, thanks very much, but I still insist that I ought to be... Yeah, okay. Sure, I'll make this last one a good one, and then that'll be that. If I live through it. Huh? No, I was just talking to myself. I've been doing that rather consistently these last few days. Yes, I guess all those zombies and ghouls and loup-garoos have finally caught up with me. I know. 2 aspirins and a glass of water every half hour. Now look here, Miss Harrison, don't worry about me. I'll get the story written tonight if I have to talk to the devil himself to do it. All right, John, all right. Yeah, sure. Oh, fine. Call me back in an hour, and I'll have some kind of a plot figured out. I hope. Give my regards to Norman. Talk to you later. Well, Miss Goddard, let's get to work.
Yes, sir.
What time is it anyway?
11:32.
Sorry I have to keep you working so late?
That's perfectly all right. I know you have to have that play done by tomorrow morning. I'm glad to help.
Oh, you're an angel. Huh? Angel? That's a strange word to use here in this room where I've thought up so many demons and monsters. Tell me, or maybe you won't want to tell me.
What, Mr. Obler?
Working with me on these Lights Out plays, do you ever get frightened?
Well...
You do, don't you?
Yes, I do get frightened many times.
There was a time I'd have found that very amusing, but not tonight.
Is there something wrong, Mr. Obler?
I don't know. Tell me, did you ever sit alone in a room at night and have a premonition? Suddenly get the feeling that somewhere in the house, perhaps in the darkness in the next room, something was waiting, something of malignancy and evil? What's the matter with me? If I keep on talking like this, they'll be using me as Exhibit X in a psychopathic ward. Come on, let's get to work.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. We'll start out next week's play with the regular Lights Out opening. Lights out everybody. Chimes. Later, then you think gong. First character is named Hellman. Call him Hellman. Jack Hellman. H-E-L-M-A-N. 2 L's. Got that?
Mm-hmm.
he commits a murder and he, Oh, what's the use? I can't write another one of these things, ghosts and groans and blood. I tell you, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Mr. Oberle.
I'm sorry. Look here, Miss Goddard, you better run along.
But aren't we going
No,
to...
I just can't write any more tonight.
But the cast, they'll be standing by. The rehearsal.
Devil with the rehearsal. I'm not going to go insane writing these things for anybody. Now run along, please. Try to get some rest, and you come back early in the morning, we'll see what we can do.
Just as you say. Are you sure you're all right?
Please go.
All right. Good night.
Good night. What's come over me anyway? Why did I tell her to go? I gotta write this play. Premonition. She must have thought I was getting soft. Who's there? Oh. Well, I am in bad shape. The wind rattles the window and lights out, author goes nuts. There's a headline for Variety. I gotta get down to earth. 11:45. Joan said she'd call back in an hour. I've got to have some kind of a plot by then. Let me see. How about a press agent named Black killing a man named White and Black and White murder? Ooh, is that corny? Maybe I could use a story about a Hollywood producer. Let's see. Johnny Hour. He meets a girl and then's afraid because the girl's husband. Oh, is that out of character? How about Nero chopping off heads in the Roman circus and... Certainly it's quiet in here. Yell all day for quiet. Now that I've got it, I have got the jitters. What the devil have I got to be jittery about? Things are what they are, if anybody knows that I do. 2 and 2 makes 4, unless you're talking about curved space, and then that has hold on to what they've got, and anybody who's in this war for profit ought to have his bones broken off, and... What the devil am I talking about? Okay. I'd better stop kidding myself. I know what's wrong. I want to write it, and yet I don't. What's the matter with me? Afraid to put it down on paper? What have I got to be afraid of? Here it goes. Get it over with. And outline of title undecided. Get out of my system. Play opens in the cell of a monastery in the Middle Ages. The mystic is cowered in the corner of his room. Outside, a mob is clamoring for his life. It appears that a horrible crime has been committed in the village below. A horrible monster had torn a woman. It appears that this creature, brought into being through the incantations of the sorcerer, was the concentration of all the evil in men's hearts and minds. A tremendous force of fiendishness and inhumanity put into living flesh to roam the world and commit unspeakable of all the drivel. A tremendous force of fiendishness and inhumanity put into living flesh to roam the world and commit unspeakable Well, drivel or not, there it is on paper. Me own monster conceived in me own mind. Congratulations, Papa. Have a cigar. Conceived in my own mind. That's what that crazy monk said in that book Nat Wolf gave me. I wonder who gave Nat that book. Conceived in... Where's that book anyway? It ought to be... I even marked the page. And I say unto thee that if thou shalt be evil and do evil and think evil, and let thy mind rest upon this evilness in the light of day and in the darkness of night for 7 days and 7 nights, there may come into being a thing of evil, and it shall take the form of the evilness of thy thought. Written by a half-starved mystic more than 10 centuries ago, and I... Funny I should have thought of those words tonight. I've been thinking about them for a week. Shall take the form of the evilness of thy thought. 7 days and 7... Who's there? No! What the... You in my mind. You're just in my mind. No. You evil. You don't exist, I tell you. I thought you're a dream. I said a dream. When I wake up, the door. It is a dream. It's got to be a dream. Come in. Come in. Get me out of the stream. Get me out of the stream.
Hi, Arch. Well, don't you ever open doors anymore? Now, what's the big idea sitting in here all
It's not
alone?
a dream. It's still...
Hey, Arch, what's cooking?
Eli, get out.
Oh, now, Arch,
Don't stand there. Look at me. Get out. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? Get out. Get out of here.
What's
Eli,
the
get out.
gag? See and hear what?
Behind you. Look behind you.
Well, there's nothing behind me but the wall.
Eli.
Say, what is this, anyway? A preview of...
Eli, get out of here.
All right. Now, let's have it. What is this, a preview of a new play? Boy, am I glad you're quitting Lights Out after all.
Can't you hear him?
Who? Hear who?
Eli, behind you.
Behind me what? What's the matter with you anyway, Arch? Don't you feel well? You keep staring back at me.
It must be a dream.
What's a dream?
It must be a dream.
Are you tight? What's the matter? The pink elephant's beginning to... No!
My brother. No, my brother, let go of me. You think to my brother. No. Well, Eli? Oh, no. Eli. Operator, please. Send police right away, my brother. Please, send police. My brother.
How much time we got to go on this shift yet, Joe? Hold it. Here comes Frank Sinatra again.
Squad 39 and 48. Going to Ventura and Redwood. Drunk, making a disturbance. Claims his brother ate by a monster. Squad 39 and 48. Going to Ventura and Redwood. Drunk claims brother ate up by a snake. KLTD signing off.
But I tell you, it's true, officer. It's true. My brother, my own brother, I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes.
All right. So you saw it. Now take it easy, young fella. You're in a bad shape.
I tell you, I'm not drunk. I'm as sober as you are.
Now, don't get funny.
You thick-headed fool. Look, it's there behind you.
What?
The thing, the monster. Look at it. Believe my brother,
I've heard of seeing snakes and pink elephants, but this is the first one I've seen this bad off, eh, Joe?
But he don't look tight.
Oh, you never can tell in the valley.
There, the two of you. Can't you see him? Slobbering there in the corner.
Hey, maybe we better take him down to the station. Let him cool off in the can for a while, eh?
Yeah.
Stop staring at me, the two of you. Why won't you believe me?
See, Clarence, maybe this guy's on the level.
Oh, are you nuts, too? Something happened to his brother, there'd be someone around, wouldn't there? And there ain't nothing in this room.
What have I done?
You've done? What do you mean?
I thought of the monster. 7 days and 7 nights.
See, Joe, the guy's nuts.
Let's find out who he is. What's your name, young fella?
Yeah, what's your name? Quiet down now. What's your name?
Oh, what difference does that make? The thing that sits there and grins at me. Why don't you see it? Help me. Why
Oh, come on now. What's your name? Let's have it.
Obler.
What's your business? What do you do for a living?
Well?
Radio. I write radio. What's the difference?
Radio? Obler. Say, ain't you the guy that writes them screwy lights out things Tuesday nights?
Yes, help me. Please help me.
Joe? What? Why, this is the guy that writes them ghost things I was telling you about. You know, over the radio. Obler. The guy who always makes his cops Irish. You get it? It's one of them gags, one of them publicity gags.
Gags? Oh, you infernal...
Now, wait a minute, fella. Watch your tongue.
I tell you, it's not a gag. It's here in the room, and it took my brother and... There. Can't you hear it? Can't you hear it?
Huh?
It's laughing. That infernal laughing. Listen to it. Listen to it.
Is later than you think. Okay, young fella. If it ain't a gag, you better take a bromo and go back to bed. Now, listen, we're going to hang around for a while, so take it easy. Come on, Joe. Let's get out of here.
No, wait. Wait. Don't let me down. It's here, I tell you. It's here. Don't let me. Oh. What'll I do? I got to get out of here. Yeah. That's it. I've got to get out of here and find someone who'll believe me. What? Oh, it won't let me out? No. Don't come near me. The police. Come back. Come in.
Hi, Arch. I was just driving by and I thought...
No, Mercedes. Get out of here. Get out.
What?
No.
Arch, what's the matter? What are you staring at?
Mercedes, believe me, you got to get out. You got to get out.
No.
Mercedes.
Help!
No!
Help!
Oh, no!
Please!
No! No!
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to take a moment's intermission in tonight's Lights Out story, the tale of a weird and horrible monster dreamed by its author into actual existence. In this moment, let's return to the world of stark reality, where a man is saying,
Don't talk to me about having fun tonight. I feel too tired out, same as last night and many other nights. I'm getting thin as a rail. I'm too jittery to eat or sleep as I should. I feel like I'd never be able to enjoy life again.
Now, wait a minute. Lots of men and women who used to feel that way have found it was due to simple vitamin B1 and iron deficiency. If that's your trouble, try ironized yeast tablets.
Ironized yeast tablets?
That's right. Ironized yeast tablets give you vitamin B1 with iron, the exact two substances you need when you suffer from these deficiencies. It's this two-way help of ironized yeast that's been of such splendid benefit in such cases. Yet the cost of these pleasant little tablets is only a few pennies a day.
Gosh, maybe I ought to try ironized yeast tablets.
By all means do, if vitamin B1 and iron deficiency is what's getting you down. Then see if pretty soon you aren't saying,
It's sure swell to feel like myself again. I've got back my old time weight and pep. It's like a new lease on life. I'm certainly glad I tried ironized yeast tablets.
And now back to our final Lights Out story.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, what's going on here? Didn't we tell you to go to bed? Is that the way to act? We heard you screaming all the way down in the... Oh, no. Where did she come from? She, her, torn.
Give me your gun. Huh? That thing in the corner there. Won't you look at it? Won't you believe me? Give me that gun.
Get away from me.
The gun, I'll shoot it. I'll shoot that
No,
thing.
stand where you are. Stand where you are. Let you have a slug.
Huh?
You got it coming to you, that bird. They'll burn you for it as sure as my name's Clarence McMenzer. And I'd like to be the guy that pulls the switch.
All right, right in here, sir. You've got 5 minutes. Yes, I know.
Oh, Mr. Gildy, I've been waiting for you.
Got here as soon as I could. Looks bad, Obler. Very bad.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything. I tell you I didn't.
Oh, yes. I know. But, Obler, you can't do a thing like that and just walk away from it.
Well, I've explained it to you. I've explained it to everyone 100 times, 1,000 times. Won't anyone believe me?
Now, look here, Arch. I'm your attorney. I want to help you. A great number of people want to help you, and we certainly can't do a thing unless you cooperate. Yes, that's what I said, cooperate.
What do you want me to do?
Tell the truth. The whole truth.
I've told you.
Yes, I know what you've told me. A horrible thing that you conceived in your mind came to life and did a number of peculiar things. But, see here, surely you don't think that even the most stupid jury on earth is going to believe that nonsense?
You don't believe me.
Well, I've heard many peculiar alibis from my radio clients in time, but... Well, listen, if you want to plead temporary
But
insanity...
I'm not insane.
Then let's hear a sane explanation of what happened that night.
I told you everything just the way it happened. My brother came home and...
Yes, I know.
Well?
Your brother came into the room and was eaten up by this monster, and then that girl... Oh, what's the use? Apparently you want to die.
I've tried so hard to make you understand.
I've tried to make you understand that if you don't stop this infernal nonsense and hurry up and tell me the truth of what really happened... You'll either find yourself taking a one-way walk to the electric chair or wake up in a padded cell in an asylum for the criminally insane.
What?
The fact of the matter is they've already appointed a lunacy commission to pass on your case.
Lunacy?
Oh, see here, Arch.
Wait. No, wait. Let me talk.
Go right ahead. That's what I want you to do.
Maybe I am insane. I don't know. At first I told myself it was nothing but a nightmare. That I'd wake up and find it had all been nothing but a weird dream that never really happened, but it's not a dream and no one will believe my story, not even you.
But such an irrational story. How can you expect anyone to believe it? Now, take that part about your brother being devoured alive by this monster.
It happened. It happened just as I said it happened.
It's common knowledge that your brother is pre-induction vacationing up north with your mother.
He came back.
You mean they are coming back? I sent your brother a wire to come back and bring your mother home at once. They ought to be here today.
My brother's dead.
Well, that's your preposterous story. This monster who's supposed to have committed all these crimes. Where is he? Where did he come from? Where has he gone to?
I don't know.
Did the police see him? No. Did anyone see him? No. Oh, Arch, if you're going to think up an alibi to save yourself, for heaven's sake, think up a better one than that one.
I'm not trying to think up alibis. I'm just trying to explain what happened to you and maybe to myself. I haven't believed much during my life, except perhaps that somewhere there was a power that went beyond life and death. What happened to me isn't explainable in any terms that you and I... But, Mr. Gang, I tell you, it did happen. I thought of a monster for 7 days and 7 nights in my own mind. And like that prophet of the Middle Ages warned, the evil thing came to life, and yet only I could see it and hear it.
And do you see and hear it now?
No. That's what I can't quite understand. Perhaps the horrible thing only has life when I think about it intensely. That's it. It only has life when my thoughts give it life. Like an idea. Don't you see, Mr. Gang? Like an idea only exists when you think of it. Your thought gives it life. And that's the way it is with that terrible thing. Listen. What? Listen. Listen. Do you hear him? There he is in the corner. What? I tell you, he's there. Don't you hear it? Blubbering and slobbering. I see it now. I see it. You think? I'm not afraid of you anymore. You hear me? I'm not afraid. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Over. God, help. God.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
He's gone insane. He's gone insane.
I tell you, all radio writers are crazy. I've had meetings with several of them.
Gentlemen, if you please control yourself. Mr. Perry, please. Dr. Shimmick, put down that bottle. Are we a lunacy commission or lunatics? And you too, Mr. Dixon. I know how strongly you gentlemen feel about this matter, but after all, we must come to a decision on his mental status. As chairman of this lunacy commission, I feel that it is incumbent upon me to, shall I say, summarize the facts as they have been placed before us. First, it is an established fact that a murder, and a very horrible murder, has been committed. The police officer has testified very conclusively that Arch Oboler was there upon the scene of the crime, and that it was absolutely impossible for anyone else to have committed the murder. In other words, the man whose mental status we are to determine is a murderer. Consider further facts. Does he wear conventional shirts?
No.
Another fact. Does he participate in normal activities such as drinking, dancing, fraternal orders, and similar beneficial social activities?
No.
I pile fact upon fact. Have you gentlemen ever listened to his plays?
Oh, yes, plays.
What are some of the distinctive features of these works? Voices. Strange voices. Whispering voices. Note that, gentlemen, always whispering voices. Voices. Gentlemen, I am of the firm opinion that we are dealing with a very definite case of dementia praecox in its paranoidal form.
But I tell you, all radio writers are
crazy. No, Arch. No.
A lifetime in an insane asylum. Oh, my. I'm not insane. I tell you, I'm not insane.
No, of course you're not, son. Now, don't excite yourself anymore. Please. Or they'll make me go.
If there was only some way I could make them see the thing as I see it. Mother, you believe what I told you, don't you?
Yes, dear, of course I do. If Eli would only get back.
Eli? But I told you Eli would... You're like the others. You don't believe me. Now I know you don't. You will believe. I'll make you believe. Bing, wherever you are, listen to me. I think of you. Here, I think of you. I give you life. You hear, Mother? You hear it does exist? It does?
No, don't get so excited.
There, Mother.
You must.
It's right behind you. Turn, see, believe. Oh, you see it, Mother. You see it. I'm not insane. No, my mother. Bing, my mother. No, not my mother. Not my mother. All right. Hello. Oh, yes, Joan. Midnight already? Yeah, I've been sitting here very comfortably, and I finally caught up the plot line, and believe me, it's quite a brainstorm. I die. Sure. It's my final broadcast, so why not? No, I'm not gagging. Listen to me. And it's all about a monster that I conceived in my own little-bitty mind, and it comes to life. Honestly, I haven't had a Coke in hours. Now, it's going to be one of those, crazy stories inside of a story. Now listen. The way I've got it figured out is this. Now, I'm supposed to be sitting here thinking of this horrible monster, and suddenly I turn around and there it is, see? And my young brother comes in, and this monster eats him up alive, and then Mercy McCambridge comes in, and she... Wait a minute, Joan. Hold it for a minute. I think someone came in. I imagine it's Bernie. I'll see who... Hello. Joan, listen. That thing, it's true. This time it's really happening. No.
Well, Mr. Obler. Mr. Obler, where are you?
I'm way down here.
What are you doing down there?
Didn't you hear the play? I'm dead. All right, Frank. I'll come back to Earth long enough to say goodbye to our friends after you've had your say.
I've got a word of cheer for you folks who are underweight, run down, jittery, often tired out. If vitamin B1 and iron shortage is what's getting you that way, remember, ironized yeast tablets give you the exact two substances you need. Of course, a rundown condition may be due to other causes. If in doubt, see your doctor. But if your trouble is simply vitamin B1 and iron shortage, remember, ironized yeast has been of such splendid help in such cases that it's sold on this money-back basis. If you don't begin to eat better, to feel better, and so sleep better, the cost of the first bottle will be refunded to you in full by Ironized Yeast, Box IY, Rahway, New Jersey. And now, how about those farewells, Mr. Obler?
Yes, after a full year of blood and suspense and death in the night, the time has come to put lights out away and go on to other things. Thanks to those people behind the scenes who have helped so much, engineers, soundmen, actors. Now, starting next week at the same time, Ironized Yeast is going to bring you a new version of an old favorite, Big Town. Yes, Big Town. And if a note of reality of our times has crept into a play now and then, forgive me, but even a fictionizer can't always forget that there's a very real war going on for very real human issues. So, right now, it's goodbye from a man named Obler and a cordial invitation to listen into the show that exceeds lights out, Big Town.
Yes, Big Town, the thrilling dramatic pageant of America's mightiest metropolis, as mirrored by Steve Wilson's courageous newspaper, The Illustrated Press. Listen as Steve takes you behind the headlines for the stories that are the lifeblood of a great newspaper. Remember, next Tuesday at this same time, Big Town. And if you need more vitamin B1 and iron, be sure to try ironized yeast. But remember, there's only one ironized yeast. You'll know it instantly by the yellow and orange package and by the big letters IY on the container and on each tablet. It is later than you think.
If you're in the middle of fall house cleaning, stop and listen to this. Save time and money by taking out dirt and grease spots from your furniture and rugs yourself right in your own home. Use Energine cleaning fluid. Energine takes out dirt and grease spots almost like magic. It's quick, easy to use. Just moisten a cloth with Energine, brush gently on the spot as directed on the container. That's all you do. So spruce up those home furnishings of yours. Buy a large economical container of Energine cleaning fluid and keep things clean with Energine. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Marion and Jim Jordan as Fibber, McGee, and Mully with Donald Novis, Bill Thompson, and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Life Begins When You're in Love. colors of your kitchen linoleum as bright and fresh as the day you first picked it out, or if they become dull and faded? Do you know the easy way to keep the colors of linoleum bright and cheerful? The answer, with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. Glow Coat turns a dull, lifeless floor into a beautiful floor in 20 minutes. It requires no rubbing or buffing. That's why it's called self-polishing. And that's just one of the reasons why Glow Coat has become America's #1 floor polish. You can use Glow Coat on your varnished or painted wood floors, too. It gives a hard, gleaming polish that's easy to keep clean and spotless. If you spill something on a floor protected with Glow Coat, you simply mop it up with a damp cloth. Now, if you aren't using Glow Coat on your linoleum floors, order some tomorrow from your dealer. Remember the name, GLO-COAT. Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. There's a gay Halloween party in progress tonight, given by the McGee's next-door neighbors, the Throckmorton P. Gildersleeves. And among the guests, we find many names from Wistful Vista's Blue Book, plus 2 names from Wistful Vista's telephone book, Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
Well, it's quite a party, ain't it, Molly?
It certainly is, McGee. But blown cigar smoke in my face, dearie.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you'd like it. This is one of the best cigars.
Oh, there, McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee. Mighty glad you could come over tonight.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's a lovely party.
I'll have to hand it to you, Gildersleeve, for thinking up clever games to play.
Clever game?
Yeah, like hiding the cigars. How'd you ever think of hiding them in the bottom drawer of your dresser?
Why, McGee, you had no business snooping in Mr. Gildersleeve's dresser.
Oh, that's quite all right, folks. Always glad to have the guests make themselves at home.
That's what I figured.
If you'd like to check over my last bank statement, McGee, you'll find it in the desk in the library.
You must be mistaken, Gildersleeve. I didn't see it, and I went all through that desk when I was looking for the cigar.
Heavenly days, McGee, don't be so snoopy.
I ain't snoopy. I'm just alert. Incidentally, Gildersleeve, there's a letter on your desk from your tailor. You mean to tell me you pay $85 for them suits of yours?
Why, yes, I do, McGee.
My goodness, McGee buys 4 of them for that price, don't you, dear?
Is that so?
Oh, sure.
You mean he buys his clothes?
What?
Well, if you'll excuse me, folks, I'll see how the other guests are getting along. Have a good time.
What does he mean, do I buy my clothes? Where does he think I get them?
Well, if you get him where I think he thinks you get him, I think you'll think twice about asking.
You mean you think I don't get them?
Well, hello there, Molly. Hello, Fibber. Gee, we're having fun.
What are you doing, Miss Wilcox?
Oh, playing games. Come on in the other room. Boomer's going to do some sleight-of-hand tricks.
Oh, come on, McGee.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for my first astounding bit of wizardry, I take this $5 bill. Don't seem to have a $5 bill. Will someone from the group pass me the $5 bill?
Why, a $5 bill, Boomer? Can't you do it with a 1?
Certainly not. 5 is a magical number. 5 pennies in a nickel, 5 nickels in a quarter, and 5 quarters in a dollar and a quarter. Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. Thank you, sucker. Now, watch me closely. Presto, abracadabra, zingo. And the bill has disappeared. Entirely without the use of mirrors or concealed wires. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good.
Oh, now, quiet, please. Now, with another simple twist of the wrist, I might say a slight pang of regret, I will restore the $5 bill. Presto, abracadabra, zingo. And here, well, must have made a slip somewhere. Can't seem to bring it back.
Oh, no, you don't, Boomer. Fork over that fin.
Come, uncouth. Surely you're not accusing Horatio K. Boomer of chicanery. Have your $5 right here someplace. Now, where can I put that $5 bill? Let me look through my pockets.
That guy's so light-fingered he has to stick his hands on an anvil to get a manicure.
And they better keep an eye on the anvil, too.
Now, let me see. $5 bill, $5 bill. Where can I put that $5 bill? Ah, here it is. No, it isn't either. That's a photograph of my cousin Guernsey, Boomer.
Good heavens, bow-legged, isn't he?
Not naturally, my dear, but he's been ridden out of town on a rail so often his knees have lost touch with each other. Now, let me see. Here's an advertisement for asbestos seat covers. Very handy for driving hot cars. Package of corn remover. Here, give some to your scriptwriter. Postcard from Minnie the Moocher. Ha-ha, the dear girl. Says she's now a facial masseuse in Texas. The little panhandler. Small bottle of mint sauce in case I want to take it on the lamb. A check for short hair. Well, imagine that. An old $5 bill. Wonder if it could have blown out the window. I'll blow out the door and see.
It's almost human. I'll say it is. Just out of curiosity, I dropped a sleeping tablet in the needle box, and it's been playing a man in his dream for 20 minutes.
Well, hello there, Johnny. Hello, daughter. Quite a party, ain't it?
Yes, it certainly is, old-timer.
Hey! She says, yes, it is. People go to parties for the same reason bald-headed guys go to burlesque shows. They at least have the illusion of letting their hair down.
That's pretty good, Johnny, but that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, the president's secretary said to him, "Say, Mr. Roosevelt," he says, "I haven't seen you made any appointments for next week." "Nope," says Mr. Roosevelt. "I thought I'd do my Christmas shopping early." Well, I gotta go in the other room, Johnny. They're bobbing for apples, and I gotta get my girl out of there. She's a pippin'.
Well, the old coop's on a hoot, ain't he, Molly? If he was ever...
Ah, there, folks. How's everything going?
Oh, just fine, Mr. Gildersleeve.
By the way, when do we eat, Rocky?
Well, we're serving a buffet supper a little later.
Hot dog, you hear that, Molly? A buffet supper.
Oh, that's McGee's favorite kind of a meal, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah?
He goes around the buffet table like Seabiscuit on a fast track.
Well, that's fine, yes. Or is it? But before we have dinner, folks, we're going to have a little more fun. Mrs. Uppington's going to tell somebody's fortune. Oh, yes, they're drawing names in the other room now to see who the lucky man is. Hey, it looks like you're it, McGee. Oh, this should be very amusing.
Yes. It's the first party we ever went to where McGee stuck out his hand instead of his neck.
Oh, here he is, folks.
There you are, Mr. McGee. I hope you don't mind having your fortune told.
I just know, Uppy. As the chicken says when he busted out of the egg, I guess the future is worth taking a peep at. Which hand do you want to read?
Well, that depends, Mr. McGee. Are you right or left-handed?
Well, I think he's left-handed. He reached for the lunch check with his right hand today and fumbled terribly.
Well, then give me your left hand, Mr. McGee.
Okay, here you are. Paul, meet Mrs. Uppington. Mrs. Uppington, my Paul.
How do you do? I'm very glad. Oh, my, that was a joke, wasn't it? Now wait till I put on my glasses. I didn't have them on the last time I told a man's fortune, and I was horribly embarrassed, you know.
Why, Mrs. Uppington?
Oh, my dear. He had pigskin gloves on, and I told him I could see him lying on a plate with 2 fried eggs and a piece of toast.
Well, get busy, Uppy. Tell me, pretty gypsy.
Oh, very well. Now, first we come to the matter of intelligence.
Oh, we do, eh? Get a load of this, folks.
The intelligence is indicated by small mounds at the base of the fingers.
What mounds? I ain't got any mounds.
And now, this line, this is a lifeline.
Well, throw it out. I'm going down for the 3rd time.
Your lifeline tells me that... Oh, good heavens. What, Mrs. Uppington? Oh, Mrs. McGee, I regret to inform you that your husband has been dead for 12 years.
Very good, Abigail, very good. Well, folks, we have time for a couple more games before supper's served. Have you any suggestions?
You know, I think it'd be fun if we turned out the lights and told ghosts.
Oh, hey, that's fine. That's a splendid idea. Everybody sit down, folks. I'll turn out the lights.
Want me to tell the first ghost story, folks?
Say, what do you know about telling ghost stories, dearie?
Who, me? Why, shucks, I've been an expert on ghost stories ever since I was a kid. Used to give myself the creeps before I could walk. I made quite a study of ghost stories. That was every time I'd walk into somebody's yard. Folks would shake their heads and look grave. Graveyard McGee, I was known as. Graveyard McGee, the gloomiest guy that ever gave goose flesh to a gay gathering with my goring and gruesome goblin gabbling, getting guys' goats with great gobs of ghastly goings-on, galvanizing groups of gaping greenhorns with garrulous and graphic gibberish, then garnering the greatest bag of groaning ghosts from the guts and gales of the Greenland Sea to the giddy... Ow! Who's pinching me?
McGee, if you know so much about ghost stories, you go ahead and tell one.
Okay, well, I'll let me think of it.
I know one. Shall I tell it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it happened one night when I was driving through the swamps of Louisiana, when suddenly my engine went dead. And there I was stranded miles from nowhere, and a storm coming up. I had to find shelter somewhere, so I walked up the road to a deserted-looking, ramshackle old house. But before I could knock, the door swung slowly open. What's that?
Excuse me, folks. My foot was asleep and I was straightening out my legs. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, as soon as my eyes got used to the darkness, I saw a shimmering figure. I heard a hollow voice say, "Where's my head?"
Mr. Wilcox, weren't you horribly perturbed?
Was I? My nerves were waving back and forth like windshield wipers. But I took myself in hand and I said, "I'm sorry, buddy, but I haven't got your head. Where'd you lose it?" And the ghost said, "Right in this house. I came home one day, and when I saw the kitchen floor looking so dull and dingy, streaked and worn, I flew into rage."
Oh, sure.
I lost my head and bawled my wife out something terrible. Gee, I wish I hadn't done it, because I know now what I should have done. But by that time, I had the door open again, and I ran like the dickens.
Well, what was the point of that story, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, the point is that if you're haunted by the appearance of dull, faded, hard-to-clean linoleum floors, just try Johnson's Glow Coat. The no-rubbing, no-buffing floor polish that's so easy to use and keeps linoleum looking new indefinitely. And not only that...
Okay. You've pulled the plug, now get out of the tub. Turn the lights on, somebody.
Just a moment, folks. I think supper's ready, so if you want to step into the dining room.
Well, come on, McGee. What are you waiting for?
You go ahead, Molly. I'll be in later. I got something I want to do. Kind of a Halloween gag. Don't say anything to anybody now. I'll be back in a little while.
This concludes.
Boy, it's dark out here. I'd like to see Gildersleeve's face tomorrow when he looks in his garage. Oh! Hey, get away from me! Who's there? Who's that?
Yeah, I bet I spoke you, didn't I?
Oh, little girl, it's so dark out here I didn't see you. What you doing? I says, what you doing?
Playing Halloween.
Oh.
Gee, have I been having the fun, too. Skipping over garbage cans and soaping windows and scaring people and everything.
Oh, yeah, eh?
Yeah.
Well, this is night court, sis. Incidentally, you know the difference between a ghost and a sailor with a sprained ankle?
No.
Well, one's a hobgoblin and the other's a gobhoblin. I says one is a hobgoblin. Oh, never mind. You run along and have your fun, sis. I got some private business to attend to.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Never you mind now.
I bet you're gonna ring somebody's doorbell, I bet you.
No, I ain't.
Ah, yes, you.
Oh, no, I ain't.
Ah, yes.
Oh, no. Listen, sis. You run along and have your fun, and I'll go and have mine.
Oh, why don't you let me go with you? Please, why won't you,
That's right, because I can't let... Don't talk so loud, sis. Now, listen, you know whose garage this is?
Yeah. It's Mr. Gildersleeve, I bet you.
That's right, and I'm Mr. McGee. I live right next door here.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a Halloween trick on Mr. Gildersleeve. Take it easy. We don't want him to hear. Now, look, I'm going to sneak into Gildersleeve's garage and let all the air out of his tires. Will that be a panic or what?
Will it?
Why, sure it will. Boy, when old Gildersleeve comes out in the morning and... Watch this. Now, don't make so much noise.
Gee, you're making all the noise, I bet you.
Well, come on now. If you want to be in on this, help me push this garage door open.
Gee, always having a fun.
I wish it wasn't so dark in here, but I don't dare strike a light. Now, look at this. You let the air out of the tires on that side, and I'll do the same on this side. You know how to let the air out?
Sure. I let the air out of 5 cars already tonight, I bet you.
Okay, go ahead.
Gee, isn't this a dandy idea, mister?
I thought it was pretty good myself, sis. But don't you ever tell him.
Hey, mister, the cars are out on this side.
Okay, same here now, sis. Now, remember, this is a secret between you and me.
Yeah.
I got to get back to the party now.
Okay. You know any more riddles, mister?
Huh? No, I don't know any more riddles.
I do.
Huh?
What's the difference between a peanut butter sandwich and a policeman?
Peanut butter sandwich and a policeman. I'm sorry, sis. I'm afraid I don't know the difference between a peanut butter sandwich and a policeman.
Anna?
Yeah?
Oh, I guess that's your tough luck then, mister, because here comes the policeman now.
Hey,
Come on, mister.
what? Hey, let me over here.
Folks, Donald Notice sings With a Song in My Heart.
With a song in my heart, I behold your adorable face. Just a song at the start, but it soon is a hymn to your grace. When the music swells, I am touching your hand. It tells that you're standing near. And at the sound of your voice, heaven opens its portals to me. Can I help but rejoice that a song such as ours came to be? But I always knew I would live life through with a song in my heart for you. But I always knew I would live life through with a song in my
Then have you got your hat, dearie?
Yeah, well, we'll have to go now.
Well, I'm sorry you folks have to leave so early. but I'm mighty glad you could come over.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. My, it's been a simply marvelous party.
Ah, you betcha, Throcky, old man. You sure know how to throw a party.
Oh, it was lovely. Say good night to Mrs. Gildersleeve for me.
Yeah, me too, Gildersleeve. She's a wonderful cook, that wife of yours. Tell her how we had a terrific time tonight.
I certainly will. I'm sorry she was so busy in the kitchen she couldn't meet any of you folks. But you must come over again sometime.
Oh, could I have my chauffeur drop you somewhere, Mrs. McGee? Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. Uppington. We just live next door. Well, good night. We've had a wonderful time, Mr. Gildersleeve. Good night.
Good night, Gildersleeve.
Good night, Mrs. McGee. Good night, Fibber.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Boy, what a lousy party.
Heavenly day. Whoever told them they knew how to entertain?
Yeah. Old Gildersleeve and his expensive cigars. Look at him. Dry as a bone. All 10 of them.
Well, I'm going right up to bed, dearie. I'm tired.
Yeah, well, I'm coming up, too.
Oh, my goodness, I hope I don't have bad dreams from that terrible food. Did you taste those hors d'oeuvres, Maggie?
Oh, they didn't look tempting to me. Carmen. Imagine that. Imagine old Lady Uppington trying to tell fortunes. I think I'll get her a crystal 8-ball for Christmas.
Now, don't drop your shoes there on the floor right where somebody will stumble over them.
Oh, well, they're on my side of the bed. I'll be the one to stumble over them.
Hand me my cold cream, dearie.
Okay.
Thanks. Did you notice the cheap towels in the bathroom? They were like limp sandpaper.
Yeah, sure. Hey, you scare me with all that cold cream on your face, Molly. Why didn't you wear that mask to the party? Imagine them old fogies playing post office at their age. There ain't one of them with sufficient postage. What time will I set the clock for?
Oh, not too early, dearie. I'll want to sleep a while in the morning.
Yeah, me too, after a night like that.
That ghost story of Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah.
I'll bet the sponsor haunts him.
The way those people ate. You see the old-timer? He was chasing the ham around like an actor's agent. Hey, this underwear don't fit as good as it did a few years ago, Molly.
It doesn't?
Getting a little snug around the ankles. Where's my pajamas? Oh, here they are.
Hang up your pants.
Oh, I'll hang them up in the morning. Oh, baby, does this bed feel good to Papa? Oh, say, remind me to tell you sometime about the trick I pulled on Gildersleeve tonight, Molly. It was a peach. What a party that was. Oh, good night, Molly.
Good night, dearie. Oh, I wonder who that is at this time of night. 79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Who? Oh, yes. Oh, well, that was real thoughtful of you. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, we had a simply wonderful time. Yes. Good night. McGee, that was Mr. Gildersleeve.
What'd that stuffed shirt want?
Well, he really did you a favor. He said he forgot to tell you while you were over there.
Forgot to tell me what?
Well, his car was downtown being repaired, and he saw ours standing in the alley, and he was afraid the Halloween princess would hurt it, so he put it in his own garage.
That was nice of him. Baby ain't such a bad... What?
I let the air out of my own tire.
will be back in just a moment. Look down at your floors for a moment. Is there anything in your entire home that gets such hard wear? No wonder they need wax protection. No floor finish like a varnish, shellac, or paint can stand up forever against the constant attack of scuffing and scraping shoes and sharp heels. These finishes themselves need the protection of a tough material that can be quickly and easily renewed. And that material is Johnson's Wax. Certain floor areas, such as halls and around doorways, get more wear than others. With Johnson's Wax, these traffic areas can be touched up and re-waxed without waxing the entire floor. In addition to providing this money-saving protection, Johnson's Wax gives you rich, mellow, beautiful floors that add charm to your entire home. With every application, this beauty increases, while your housework decreases, because waxed floors never need scrubbing, and they're easiest of all floors to keep clean. Ask your dealer for genuine Johnson's Wax, paste or liquid, in the familiar red and yellow package.
We didn't really feel that way about Gildersleeve's party. We just wanted to give you an idea of what we think happens after one of our parties. Incidentally, Molly, there's one game we didn't play over there tonight.
What was that, Billy?
Pin the tail on the elephant.
You mean on the donkey?
Oh, no, Gildersleeve's a Republican.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, Racine, Wisconsin, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night at this same time. Good night.
Heard on the program tonight, where Are You Having Any Fun from George White's Scandals and Ding Dong the Witch is Dead from The Wizard of Oz. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. Episode of Our Miss Brooks, written by Al Lewis. Well, many of us find it extremely difficult to get up early every morning, but our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, has been doing it for years.
Yes, and I've learned one thing about early rising that's helped me immeasurably. Once I jump out of bed, close the window, and do my setting up exercises, there's only one more thing I want to do, and that's to get right back in bed again. Last Friday morning, though, I was up and almost dressed by the time my landlady knocked on the door.
Won't you get up, Connie?
I am up, Mrs. Davis. Come on in. I'm trying to get to school early so I can chat with Mr. Boynton for a few minutes before our first class.
Is Mr. Boynton still as unapproachable as ever, Connie?
I guess so, Mrs. Davis. But you know something? During this past week, I've gotten closer to him than ever before.
Really, dear? How did you do that?
I've been wearing my sneakers to school. I hope I've got time for breakfast before Walter Denton comes to pick me up. There's something he wants to talk to me about before school starts.
Well, he can talk to you at breakfast, Connie. My goodness, you've got to keep your strength up some way. We both know you don't get enough sleep.
Well, I didn't last night. Minerva slept in here with me, and she was very restless.
I don't know what's the matter with that cat lately. Between you and me, Connie, I think she's got something.
Between you and me, I think she's got several.
Maybe it's a mistake to let her get so friendly with the collie next door. They play together all the time, you know.
Oh, so that's the source. Mm-hmm. Minerva had me up half the night with her pounding.
That's just her tail beating on the floor while she's hunting.
Oh, I don't mind her tail thumping so much, but every time she catches something with one paw, she applauds with the other three.
Suppose we join Minerva in the breakfast nook. I've just given her some milk.
Fine, I'll have a saucer full, too.
Sit right down, dear. I'll boil you a couple of eggs.
Just one egg will be plenty, Mrs. Davis.
Well, Oh, Walter... That must be Walter Denton now.
Just 6 eggs will be plenty, Mrs. Davis. The door isn't locked. Come in, Walter.
Hi, Miss Brooks, Mrs. Davis.
Hello, Walter.
How do you want your eggs, Walter? Quickly, please.
Any breakfast yet?
Oh, sure, but it's 7:30 almost, and we eat an awful early breakfast at my place.
How early?
7:15.
I don't know how you're still standing up.
I'll whip up an omelet for all of us. Miss Brooks, I'd like to ask you about something.
What's that, Walter?
Well, as you know, Halloween is usually celebrated tomorrow night, Saturday. But Harriet Conklin's going up to her folks' bungalow at Crystal Lake for the weekend, so we wondered if it would be all right with you if we celebrated the holiday tonight.
Well, why come to me? Shouldn't you contact the Goblins Union?
We wanted to sort of have a little party. You know, Harriet, my pal Stretch Snodgrass, and I, and we were planning on inviting you, too.
Oh? Where were you planning on holding this party, Walter?
At your place.
Nice of you to invite me along. But I'm afraid we couldn't have any Halloween parties here, Walter. After all, I don't own this cottage. I just rent a room for Mrs. Davis.
Oh, we've already got her permission. She's going to the movies tonight. Harriet asked her on the phone yesterday. It's just up to you, Miss Brooks.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not interested in Halloween parties, Walter. I've got quite a bit of work to catch up on, and tonight looks like an ideal time to do it. Sorry, but you'll have to hold your party someplace else.
Gee, Miss Brooks, Harriet and Stretch will be awfully disappointed. And so will Mr. Boynton.
Mr. Boynton?
Yeah. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was saying what swell fun he always thought Halloween was when he was a kid. And then we invited him to the party, too. And he accepted. And now there's no place to have the party.
What's wrong with having the party right here?
Hello, Principal's office. Osgood Conklin himself speaking.
Hello, Osgood. It's me, Martha.
We've been married 18 years, woman. I know your name.
Do try not to be so testy. Do you realize that you left home this morning without even saying goodbye?
Well, that's easily remedied. Goodbye.
Wait, Osgood. I just called to remind you about your doctor's appointment this morning. He said he wanted to see you before we go to Crystal Lake tomorrow.
I am well aware of that fact. I've had plenty of time to think about it during the sleepless hours I spent listening to your dog thumping his tail at the foot of our bed all night.
But Prince was so lonesome, dear. After all, we've got each other. He's all alone.
Well, he wasn't alone last night. I never heard such scratching in all my born days. What's he got, anyway?
Well, he can't possibly have anything, dear. You know he doesn't play with other dogs. In fact, he would have died of loneliness last week if I hadn't taken him over to Mrs. Davis's to play with her cat, Minerva.
Well, you've got to keep him away from me. My blood pressure is higher than it's been in years. To make my morning complete, when I bent down to tie my shoelaces, my glasses fell out.
Did they break?
Not until I straightened up and stepped on them.
Well, darling, in a couple of days in Crystal Lake, that will make a new man of you. Now go down to the doctor's and get a nice sedative to take with you.
Very well, Martha. It's a good thing I have an extra pair of glasses with me, or I couldn't find my way to the door.
Now, whatever you do, Osgood, don't break those.
Thank you, my dear. I think that's sterling advice. Goodbye. It's later than I thought. I'd better hurry.
So you see, Walter, if we all meet in the cafeteria at lunchtime, we can make the plan for... Oh!
Miss Brooks, I presume.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Conklin. I didn't see you coming. Oh, dear, I seem to have broken your glasses. Do you have another pair?
No, Miss Brooks, I haven't. But perhaps I could get you a long stick and let you smash the windows in my office.
You seem to be in quite a hurry, Mr. Conklin. Could I maybe take you somewhere?
Who is speaking?
It's me, Walter Denton. Your daughter Harriet's dreamboat.
My daughter, Harriet's jail. I'll talk to you later, Miss Brooks. Denton, pick up that shattered glass.
Yes, sir. Oh, what should I do with it, Mr. Conklin?
Eat it, you lame-brained dunce!
Mr. Conklin's sure in a bad mood today. He looks pretty purple, doesn't he?
Even for him. He certainly is excitable.
Hi, Walter. Oh, hello, Miss Brooks.
Hi. Hello, Harriet.
Did you run into Daddy yet this morning?
It's in the hands of the insurance company now.
His temper's pretty miserable today.
Yes, I know. Poor Daddy's been depressed all week long. I don't know what it is. We all try to please him.
What he needs is some recreation and diversion. Say, I have an idea.
What is it, Miss Brooks?
Well, instead of my place tonight, why don't we have our Halloween party at your house, Harriet? That way we could surprise your father and cheer him up a little bit.
Wonderful. Miss Brooks, you've done it again.
Anxious as I was to get back into Mr. Conklin's good graces, I determined to make the Halloween party Friday night a roaring success. I had asked the kids to meet me in the school cafeteria at lunchtime, and the first one to show up was Madison's star athlete, Stretch Snodgrass. Although a whiz on the football field, Stretch's outstanding scholastic achievement occurred during a test last week when he spelled his name correctly. I was having a cup of coffee when he approached my table.
Here I am, Miss Brooks. Mind if I sit down?
Not at all, Stretch, but wouldn't you like to bring some food over before we discuss the party?
Oh, no, ma'am. I already ate.
Please, Stretch. I've already eaten.
Oh, good. Then we can get right down to business. Walter said he thought we all ought to masquerade or something tonight.
That's a fine idea, Stretch. You could come as a student.
I got my outfit all set, Miss Brooks. I got some chaps home and spurs and 2 6-shooters that shoot real blanks. I'm coming as Hopalong Cassidy. That is, if nobody minds.
Why should anybody mind, unless Roy Rogers shows up?
What are you going to masquerade as, Miss Brooks?
Oh, I haven't made up my mind yet, Stretch. Of course, every good Halloween party should have a witch. Yes, I might come as a witch.
Perfect.
Don't sound so enthusiastic. Pretty short notice to get a costume made, and I may not...
Why go to all that trouble? Why don't you just wear what you got on?
Big as he is, I'll have to slug him. Now, look, Stretch,
Hey, Miss Brooks, Stretch. Well, things are sure shaping up. Look at these 12 noisemakers I bought this morning.
When did you find time to get all this junk, Walter?
I sneaked out of one of my morning classes.
Walter, you didn't.
Well, it was important, Miss Brooks. Besides, there's no harm done. Nobody even noticed I was gone.
That's what I like, a nice observant teacher.
Oh, it wasn't the teacher's fault. You were facing the blackboard at the time. Hey, look at this horn. It's got a siren in the mouthpiece. Listen.
Please, Walter, you're in the cafeteria.
So what?
One more blast like that, and the beef stew will pull over to the right. Now, tell me, how are you going to the masquerade?
I got a terrific idea, Miss Brooks. I'm just going to put on an old sheet. Do you think Mr. Conklin will get a kick out of me as a ghost?
If he thought it was on the level, it would add 10 years to his life.
What are you coming at, Brooks?
Oh, I haven't quite decided yet. Any suggestions?
Well, just one. I don't want you to think I'm being fresh or anything, but, this is going to be a Halloween party, and, I'd be glad to furnish you with a broom.
I guess I'm a natural for it.
Look who's coming over.
Oh, it's Mr. Boynton. Hello, Mr. Boynton.
Hello, Walter. Hello, Mr. Boynton. Hello, Stretch. Hello, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Mr. Boynton. Goodbye, Walter. Goodbye, Stretch.
We ain't going nowhere.
Stretch. Don't you know the old expression, two's company, three's a crowd?
Well, sure I do. But there's 4 of us.
You gotta help Harriet figure out a costume for tonight. See you later, folks.
Yeah, see you later, folks.
So long, boys. Well, Miss Brooks, I think it's a splendid idea you're giving this little surprise party for our principal tonight. It should do him a world of good.
It should do us a world of good, too, if he brightens up a bit. What kind of an outfit do you think you'll wear, Mr. Boynton?
Well, I've got a skeleton costume home that I used to have quite a bit of fun with in my college days. It's just a black, tight-fitting garment with a bunch of bones hanging on it.
Bones?
Yes, they're treated with a phosphorescent paint that makes them glow in the dark. It's quite a startling effect, the more so since I gathered the bones when I was an anatomy student.
From anyone I know?
I don't mean to dwell on it, Miss Brooks, but I find bones a rather fascinating subject, don't you?
That depends on what they're wrapped up in.
How are you masquerading tonight?
Oh, I don't know. If you're coming as a skeleton, maybe I'll come as a bottle of vitamins. I'm really a little stumped, Mr. Boynton. What do you think I should be?
Well, the two most popular figures associated with Halloween are a black cat and a witch.
And I'm much too tall for a cat. Walter! Oh, Walter! Get a lube job on that broom, boy. Constance Brooks rides tonight.
I'm glad we're going away in the morning, Martha. Dr. Benson told me I'm very close to the breaking point.
Yes. Of course, Ozzie.
Don't shout so. He said that some of my trouble was caused by my blood pressure, but that part of it was due to an overactive imagination. He wants me to be calm, relax more. I'd like to see him relax with that recurring dream I've had.
You mean the one where the ghost visits you at night?
Yes. Only the last couple of times it's gotten worse. Instead of a plain ghost, I've been getting one with Walter Denton's head on it.
Really, Osgood, I just don't know what you've got against that poor boy. Harriet's very fond of him.
Then she should see a doctor, too. Where is she, Martha?
Well, she's in her room, dear, getting dressed. She said something about a party tonight.
Parties. It's all kids nowadays think about. Well, there won't be any parties at Crystal Lake. There won't be any nightmares either. Why, Martha, do you realize that while I was sitting in the doctor's office today, I saw a bulldog by his desk?
A bulldog?
It was the shadow of his umbrella stand. But I almost jumped out of my skin before he explained it.
Things like that happen to people every day, Osgood.
Not to me, they don't. At least they'd better not. How do you think the Board of Education would like it if they thought one of their principals went round seeing bulldogs?
Just don't mention it to anyone, darling. Now I'm going to get you a glass of warm milk, and you stay right comfy in your chair till I get back.
You're very well. Yes. That thing looked like a bulldog. Martha's right, though. I'd better not mention it to a soul. Now, who in the world can that be? Coming!
Good evening, Mr. Conklin. May I come in?
There's no tactful way I can refuse you admission. Come in, Miss Brooks.
Have the others arrived yet?
Others? What others?
You'll see when they get here. Is Harriet at home?
Yes, she's putting on her party dress.
Oh, then you know about it. It should do you a lot of good, Mr. Conklin. There's nothing like a house full of people to get your mind off yourself.
A house full of... Miss Brooks, is this party to be given in this house?
Of course.
I see. Then if you'll excuse me, I'll just take my hat and coat and beat an orderly retreat.
But, Mr. Conklin...
My doctor has forbidden any excitement whatsoever.
Your doctor? This is a fine time to tell me. I mean, I didn't know you were in such bad shape, Mr. Conklin.
I am on the verge of a nervous collapse, Miss Brooks. But I don't want to spoil everybody's fun. I'll just leave quietly.
Leave? But, Mr. Conklin, where'll you go?
What's the difference where I go? I'll just wander around the park like a homeless gypsy.
You can't do that. You wouldn't look good in earrings. You're not a well man, Mr. Conklin. Look, Mrs. Davis is going to the movies tonight. Now, why don't you let me drive you over to our place until I can eliminate the horde of guests who are coming here? You'll love it over there, Mr. Conklin. You'll be able to relax completely.
If it will stave off my breakdown, Miss Brooks, it's the least I can do for my family.
left right after dinner, Mr. Boynton. I guess she forgot to buy a few items for the party tonight. I'm sure she'll be right back.
Fine.
Swell. This way our surprise will work out even better. Surprise?
Yes, ma'am. We thought we'd try out some of our Halloween tricks on Miss Brooks before we go over to Mr. Conklin's house.
That's a wonderful idea. I hope I didn't scare you in my ghost outfit. No, I thought you were the laundry man.
How do you like my costume, Mrs. Davis?
My, you've lost weight, haven't you?
This is a skeleton suit in honor of Halloween.
Isn't that terrifying? And who's this cowboy with you?
I'm Hopalong Cassidy, Mrs. Davis, but I'm really Stretch Snodgrass.
I'd never have known. Well, if you'll all go into the house, I'm sure Miss Brooks will be delighted to see you. I've got to get down to the theater now.
Oh, what movie are you seeing tonight, Mrs. Davis?
Jolson Sings Again. Again? I saw it last week also. Have a nice time, Gildy.
What should I do with this bucket of water we're ducking for apples in, Walter?
Oh, and just put it down by the piano, Stretch. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do. Before Miss Brooks comes back, let's all hide somewhere so we can really surprise her.
Good idea, Walter. Now, why don't you get behind that couch? Stretch, you hide behind the kitchen door, and I'll get into the hall closet.
Great. And we'll all come out when I blow this whistle. Okay?
Got you, Walter. Hey, look, out the window. Miss Brooks is coming up the walk, and she's got Mr. Conklin with her.
Mr. Conklin? Oh, she probably wanted to get him out of the way while we were getting things ready at his place.
So much the better. We'll surprise both of them at the same time. Now, first I'll put the lights out. Quick, let's get out of sight.
Well, here we are, Mr. Conklin. I guess Mrs. Davis has left for the movies. The lights are all out.
But it does seem quite deserted in here.
I'll turn on this hall light so you can see to hang your things up in the closet. I'll turn some lights on in the living room while you put your hat and coat away.
Thank you, Miss Brooks.
Miss Brooks! Miss Brooks!
What is it, Mr. Conklin? What's the trouble?
Your closet. In the hall. What do you keep in there?
Just my coat, Mr. Conklin.
I see. Tell me, Miss Brooks, is it a long black coat with luminous bones?
Luminous bones? Oh, no. Oh, please wait right here, Mr. Conklin. I'll investigate.
Oh, it's me, Miss Brooks. You should have seen Mr. Conklin's face when
Get behind those other coats immediately, Mr. Boynton.
But, Miss Brooks...
I can't explain now, but don't you dare come out of there until you get a signal.
Well, Miss Brooks, what did you see?
See? I didn't see anything, Mr. Conklin. It must have been your imagination.
My imagination? Then the doctor was right.
That, Mr. Conklin?
I'd rather not talk about it, Miss Brooks. If I could just lie down somewhere.
Oh, of course, Mr. Conklin. Just stretch out on this couch. I'll go get another cushion for you.
All right. That's better. I must be quite a sick man. If I weren't sick, I wouldn't be moaning like this. On the other hand, it's better than What am I saying? I'm not the one who's moaning.
I've returned. I've come back.
Who's there? Where are you?
Look behind you. Behind the couch.
Behind the...
Are you all right? What happened?
Miss Brooks, how long have I been asleep?
Asleep?
Yes.
You just hit the couch, Mr. Conklin. Which reminds me, maybe you'd better see a good psychiatrist. This screaming of yours can lead to something dangerous.
Just do me a favor, Miss Brooks. Look behind that couch.
Certainly, sir, if it'll make you feel any better. But I assure you there's absolutely nothing behind this couch. I'm sorry if I startled you, Mr. Conklin, but my cat Minerva's back here.
With a sheet?
She was making her bed. Stay out of sight, Minerva. There's a good Gurga boy.
If you don't mind, Miss Brooks, I'd like to take a couple of pills my doctor prescribed. May I have some water, please?
Certainly, sir. If you've got an extra pill or two, I'll be happy to join you. Just sit right here, Miss Conklin. I'll go into the kitchen and get some water. No, on second thought, you'd better come with me. I don't want you to get nervous again.
Yes, I think you're right, Miss Brooks. Doesn't do for me to be alone lately.
Now, where's that light switch?
Well, dog bite catch if it ain't roundup time.
Was that? Brooks, do you mean to tell me I've actually taken leave of my senses?
Oh, it isn't a real leave, Mr. Conklin. You're just on a weekend pass. Oh, lots of people get temporary hallucinations. Maybe we'd better go back to your house.
Yes, at a time like this, I suppose I should be near my loved one.
Happy Halloween, Mr. Conklin. Look, it's me.
Vincent, how did you...
What's this?
It's just my coat coming over. Get back to the closet.
It's me, Mr. Conklin. I'm a skeleton, see?
Look at me, Mr. Conklin. I'm Hopalong Cassidy, and I'll plug the first hombre that makes a move.
Snodgrass.
Stop that!
I must control myself.
What's wrong, Mr. Conklin? You don't seem to be enjoying yourself.
Yeah, you act all jumpy and funny. Gosh, Miss Brooks went to a lot of trouble to get this thing organized.
Walter, please.
Oh, Miss Brooks organized it, did she?
Sure, she planned the whole thing.
She deserves every bit of credit.
Well, she's certainly going to get it. Miss Brooks, I want you... Miss Brooks, get your head out of that bucket. This is no time to be ducking for apples.
Who's ducking for apples? I'm trying to drown myself.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, Mr. Conklin was so glad to find out that the things he thought had been happening to him that he excused us all and hurried home. Shortly afterwards, I excused Walter and Stretch, which left just Mr. Boynton, the parlor sofa, and me.
Well, here we are, Miss Brooks. You know, with that lamplight shining on your hair, you're absolutely, well...
Yes, Mr. Boynton?
Yoo-hoo, folks.
What's that?
Look, at the window. It's Mrs. Davis with a pumpkin head.
Just what I needed.
Happy Halloween, Connie. Trick or treat.
I've got a trick, Mrs. Davis. Here's 60 cents. Treat yourselves to Jolson Sings again.
Be sure to listen to Mr. and Mrs. North Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob LeBon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Did you know, Harriet, that there are over 320,000 men in the National Guard today?
No, I didn't.
And did you know that every member of the Guard reports for training with his unit at least once a week and receives pay for it?
No, I didn't.
And that they now have an aviation branch called the Air National Guard?
Did you know that dinner is ready and it's time to go to work with our 1847 Rogers Brothers silver plate?
No, I didn't.
And that America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers?
That I did.
America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers. From Hollywood, International Silver Company, creators of 1847 Rogers Brothers Silver Plate, presents The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring America's favorite young couple, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
Say, there's excitement in the air. A mysterious change has taken place in the vicinity of 1847 Rogers Road. Remember the friendly old elm tree in front of the house? Well, it doesn't look friendly anymore. The full moon shining through it, and on one of the bare branches, there's a big black owl. And the old dependable weather vane on top of the garage. Gee, it looks different now. I'm not sure if it's a weather vane or not, the way the shadows fall. Could be a witch on a broomstick. Oh, it's spooky out tonight. In the Nelson kitchen, there's an atmosphere of feverish activity and excited preparations.
What are you looking for, David?
We're trying to find some paper bags, big ones.
Well, look in the bottom drawer there.
There, that's a good one, Ricky.
Yeah, but what do I do with the potatoes? No, not that drawer, Ricky, on the other side.
Hey, what's going on out here?
We're getting some paper bags.
Sound like you were taking the kitchen apart.
Halloween, boy. We're going to have fun tonight, Pop.
Yeah, looks plenty spooky out to me.
What do you have there, dear?
Oh, I was just rummaging around upstairs a bit, and I thought the boys might make a costume out of these old work pants.
Gee, Pop, they're pretty dirty.
Not only that, dear, they're covered with paint.
Well, what do you expect, Harriet? I wore them when I painted the breakfast nook.
I think you did a better job on the pants than you did on the breakfast nook.
How about you, Ricky? Would you like to be a painter? Will you get your white cap and stick a couple of brushes in your belt?
Golly, Pop, those pants are pretty big.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see how they look on you. Here, step into them. Put your foot in there. Yeah. Now the other foot. Yeah, now pull them up.
Oh, that's a wonderful costume. The Headless Painter.
Anyhow, Pop, we don't need costumes. We got masks. That's enough.
Well, you suit yourself. We used to wear costumes when I was a kid.
That's just for little kids, Pop. Me and David are going trick-or-treat.
Trick or treat?
Sure. We ring a guy's doorbell and say trick-or-treat. If he doesn't give us cookies or something, we let him have it. There you are, dear. That's Halloween, 1948.
Sounds more like Chicago, 1925.
It's a lot of fun, Pop. Didn't you used to do that when you were a kid?
No, David, as I recall, we used to go in more for the real spirit of Halloween. You know, the spooky, scary stuff.
What do you mean, Pa?
Oh, I mean, we'd find some old haunted house and go prowling around looking for ghosts and stuff.
You sure were brave, Pop.
Oh, not necessarily, David.
Pop, did you ever see a ghost?
Oh, I won't say I saw a ghost, but I will say I saw something.
A spook?
I don't know. It was white and shimmering, indistinct. It wavered back and forth. Sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't there. White and shimmering.
Did they have television sets then, Pop?
No, Ricky, this was right out in the center of the living room. I'm afraid Halloween's different nowadays. All the wonderful, spooky, hobgoblin atmosphere, that's all changed now. Can't help feeling a little sad when you see the joys of your childhood disappearing in a changing world. Halloween just isn't exciting anymore.
Are you going to cry, Pop?
No, yes. Just the memories coming back.
You sure must have had fun, Pop. Do you think there's really such a thing as a ghost? A real ghost, I mean?
Well, I don't know. In a spooky old house with the moon shining through the broken shutters, you imagine you see some pretty strange things.
I'd sure like to see a ghost. Boy, would I run.
Well, there's the old McAdams house up on the hill. That's a pretty spooky-looking place. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there were a ghost or two lurking around in there.
Do you think we could see one if we went up there, Pop?
It's very possible.
Oh, Ozzie. David, your father's just kidding.
Oh, let the boys have a little fun, Harriet. After all, it's Halloween.
Come on, grab the bags, Ricky. We gotta get going.
Hey, wait for me.
Don't you think a lot of the spirit of Halloween has been lost?
Oh, I don't know, dear. The kids seem to have a good time. That's the important thing.
Oh, they pretend to enjoy it, but where's the fun? Trick or treat. Where's the adventure? What danger is there in getting a handful of cookies from Mrs. Dunkel?
You've never eaten Mrs. Dunkel's cookies.
Have we had any callers yet?
Oh, about a dozen of them. You should have seen little Julie Thornberry. She was all dressed up in one of Catherine's old dresses, and she had a stocking on her head.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry I missed it.
And little Georgie Dunkel, he had the cutest clown suit with skeletons sewed on it.
We sure have some cute little kids in this neighborhood.
I'll get it.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get it. I want to have some fun, too. Yes?
Trick or treat.
Wait a minute. Aren't you a little big to be playing trick or treat?
Trick or treat.
How old are you?
53.
Who ever heard of a grown man playing trick or treat?
Well, my little boy's over on the next block. I'm just helping him out.
You don't even have a costume.
What do you think I am, a child? Come on, trick or treat.
It's a little unusual. What happens if I don't give you a treat?
Well, I sneak back later and ring your doorbell.
So what?
And when you answer it, I punch you in the nose. Come on, trick or treat.
It's really funny. Here are some cookies.
Only 3?
Well, they've got to go around. There are other children, too, you know.
Okay. Oh, they're chocolates. My kid likes chocolate cookies. Thanks.
Oh, that's all right. How old is your little boy?
25.
One of the kids in the neighborhood, one of the older kids.
Say, would you do me a favor if you're not too busy?
Yeah, what is it?
Would you stop down at the store and get some candies or something? The rate we're going to run out of stuff.
Okay, Hey, what are you doing?
Just putting a couple of cookies in your pocket, in case you got stopped for trick or treat. Some of the boys get pretty rough.
Oh, Harriet, please. You don't think I'm afraid of a bunch of kids?
Well, suit yourself. Last Halloween, Joe Randolph bumped into the backfield of the high school football team and came home minus his trousers.
No kidding. I understand they have a pretty good team this year.
Why don't you just take these 4 cookies, just in case?
You better give me 2 more. The ends might be with them. Don't tear my pencil. The cookies are in my pocket. They're very nice cookies. Wonderful cookies.
What's this about cookies?
Oh, it's you, Thorny. What a corny trick, hiding behind the head.
Oh, just keeping in the spirit of Halloween. You should see what I did to Dunkel a little while ago.
Did you scare him? What did you do?
I sneaked up on his front porch, rang the doorbell, and ran like the dickens. He didn't know what to think. Then when he went in the house, I went around to the back and started rattling the back door. Oh, boy, was he scared.
What else did you do, Thorny?
Well, I waited a few minutes, and I tapped on the window and moaned like this. Ooh. And I rattled the door again, and I moaned some more. Then I began pounding on the side of the house.
Yeah. And then what?
Then the police came. That Dunkel just has no sense of humor.
Did the police do anything to you?
No, just told me to stop annoying people. They took my soap away, too.
You're just a big kid at heart, aren't you, Thorny?
Well, it's all in fun, Oz. What's Halloween nowadays? Nothing happens. My boy Will's out playing trick or treat.
David and Ricky, too. Somehow Halloween sort of lost the old kick.
Yeah, it sure isn't like it was when we were kids.
You know, there was an old haunted house in our town, and every Halloween us kids used to go prowling through it. Really spooky.
Sure, that's the real spirit of Halloween.
Now, you take the old McAdams place up on Franklin Avenue. There's a perfect haunted house. There's some way to sneak in there.
You mean you go in there at night?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Oh, no reason. I just never cared for the looks of the place myself. Those grotesque chimneys, staring windows. Sort of gives me the creeps.
Thorny, you're kidding.
No, I'm not, Oz. There's something frightening about it. Especially at night.
What an imagination. Well, I've got to get down to the drugstore. I promised Harriet I'd get some candy and stuff.
Okay, Oz. See you later.
Yeah.
Say, when you go by the McAdams place, don't let the ghosts get you.
Oh, that's right. I go right by there, don't I?
Yes, sir. Not afraid, are you, Oz?
Thorny, cut it out. If you walk down the store with me, I'll buy you a soda.
McAdams' place and we saw a ghost.
A real ghost?
A ghost, a real ugly one with sharp teeth and a long nose and pointed ears and hair all over his face.
And first we thought it was Pop.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said about me.
For me, we thought it was you trying to scare us.
Oh, boys, don't be silly.
You guys probably saw the moon shining through the window and your imagination did the rest.
Okay, go up and see for yourself.
Yeah, why don't you, Pop?
Yeah, why don't you, Pop?
Well, I'd be glad to, except I promised to take your mother to the movies.
Since when?
Well, that is, I've been thinking about it all day. There's a wonderful triple Halloween show at the Bijou. The Son of Frankenstein, Dracula's Daughter, and A Date with Judy.
I wasn't counting on the movies, dear. In fact, I'd much rather you'd go up and give us a report on the ghost.
Oh, it's so silly.
Go ahead, Pop. Have some fun.
Go ahead, dear.
Well, okay. If it makes you happy, I'll go up and visit the haunted house.
Attaboy, Pop.
Daddy.
I thought for a minute there you were getting scared, Pop.
Oh, David.
Oh, just remember this, boys. There's not a cowardly bone in your father's body. Of course, every now and then the meat around them gets a little jumpy.
Meat around. What am I laughing at?
You hear it over the back fence. You hear it on the bus. They talk about it at bridge clubs and when they meet on Main Street. What is this topic of conversation? Why, just this. The 4 patterns created by 1847 Rogers Brothers are the loveliest in town. Yep, it's true. The 4 patterns created by 1847 Rogers Brothers are unexcelled. No other silver plate is designed with such imagination, such feeling for detail. And each of the beautiful 1847 patterns is designed with you in mind, designed to fit your tastes, your scheme of decoration, your dreams. If you like modern, dramatic things, for example, the 1847 pattern for you is Eternally Yours. Eternally Yours is simple and sleek in line, and each piece is crowned with exquisite openwork, even the knives. That's a feature you'll find only in 1847 Rogers Brothers. And in every way, Eternally Yours is proof that the beautiful silverware, which bears the year mark 1847, is the finest in America. So see it tomorrow. Eternally Yours, one of the 4 love patterns created by the one and only 1847 Rogers Brothers. Warning to all ghosts. Beware, Ozzie Nelson will get you if you don't watch out. Yes, indeed, Ozzie Nelson, arch enemy of all ghosts, goblins, spirits, and similar supernatural phenomena, is on the march. Target for tonight. The ghost that walks in the old McAdams house. See the courageous Ozzie as he strides firmly across the porch of 1847 Rogers Road. Chin up, flashlight swinging at his side. Down the steps, down the walk. And now he stops. Every muscle tense, eyes alert, nose twitching. A white, filmy object moves out of the darkness.
Who's there?
It's me, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, hello, Emmy Lou.
I came over to show you my Halloween costume. I'm going to a party. Where are you going, Mr. Nelson?
Oh, I'm on an errand for the boys. They went up to the old McAdams house tonight, and they think they saw a ghost.
Really, Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, I'm going up there, to prove to them it was just their imagination.
You're going in that spooky old house tonight, alone?
Well, of course.
Evidently you haven't heard the story about the McAdams place.
Well, I've heard some silly rumor it's supposed to be haunted or something.
But it is, Mr. Nelson. I heard the whole story from the people who live next door. The story goes that years ago in Scotland, in the old Haggis Castle, the young and beautiful Lady Jane McAdams had a quarrel with her lover, Douglas McDingle McCampbell McTavish. A Scotchman.
Yes, much.
Well, anyway, Lady Jane pushed her lover, Douglas McDingle McCampbell McTavish, down the stairs. Down, down, down he went, his head banging on each stone step. Thump, thump, crunch, crunch. His bagpipes mournfully playing, the Campbells are coming. As he lay at the bottom of the staircase dying, Douglas McDingle
called him Mac. As we lay at the bottom of the staircase, he took an oath.
Oh, I'd swear a little myself.
He took an oath that he'd follow Lady Jane wherever she went. His spirit would always haunt her.
Where did she go?
She came here to the United States and built the old McCask's place. And they say that on nights of a full moon, like tonight, the giant ghost of Lord McTavish returns. And while the eerie notes of bagpipes ring in the night air, he prowls the house in search of Lady Jane.
It makes a good story, but nobody in his right mind would believe it.
Well, you believe it, don't you, Mr. Nelson?
Yes, but I'm not. Of course, it's a lot of nonsense.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, but remember, if you go up there tonight and see the ghost and get a terrible fright and drop dead, don't come around saying I didn't warn you. Happy Halloween!
Harriet.
Oh, hello, dear. You back so soon?
No, I haven't gone yet. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking this over, and I don't think I'll go. The whole idea seems sort of childish.
Well, what about the boys, dear? You promised them.
I know, but I mean, after all, isn't it silly for a full-grown man? It's only a wild goose. That's all it is.
Well, if you'd like, dear, I'll go with you.
The boys... What did you say?
I said I'll go with you.
There are times, Harriet, when a man likes to be alone.
Oh. Well, all right, dear.
Get your coat. This isn't one of those times. Don't get nervous now, dear. Just keep cool.
Oh, I'm cool, all right. Matter of fact, I'm shivering a little.
Just hold my hand good and tight.
I can't.
Hmm?
You're squeezing mine so hard the fingers are asleep.
Sorry. Is that better?
It's better. How do we get through this iron fence?
There's a gate here someplace, I think. It'll probably be bolted and spoil all our fun. They usually have a huge lock on these things and thick chains. Now, here we are. Oh.
Locked?
No.
Well, push it open.
Here, will you take the flashlight a second? Thanks. And the baseball bat, too.
Ooh. Doesn't this place look weird?
Yes, it is pretty spooky at that. Shall I sing something to keep your nerve up?
If you want to, dear.
It'll keep you from getting scared. Did you ever think, as the hearse goes by, someday you're going to die? There's a spook in the meadow.
Dear, dear. It might frighten the ghost. Must be a haunted house. The door squeaks.
I don't know why you insisted on coming along, Harriet. I could just as easily have come by myself.
Ozzie, something has hold of my coat.
Yeah, that's me. Who closed the door?
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, it must have been the wind. Gee, this place sure looks creepy with the moon streaming through the windows. What was that?
Now, dear, don't be frightened. I'm right beside you.
Ozzie, there's something in this room. It's coming toward us.
It's getting closer. Harry, quick, my baseball bat. Hang on, careful with that. Do it.
Hello, Harriet.
You old trickster,
I just thought I'd have a little fun with all the talk that's been going around about this place.
So you're the ghost David and Ricky saw. I should have guessed by the description. You should have a bagpipe, though, Thorny.
A bagpipe?
Well, sure, haven't you heard? This place is supposed to be haunted by a Scotch ghost who plays the bagpipe. And each night he comes down the stairs playing some old... Well, you do have one, Thorny. Where is it? Oh, you sure play awful.
Worse than you think. I don't play at all.
I hear a bagpipe. Listen, I can hear it plain as day.
Ozzie, up there, the head of the stairs.
The ghost. The ghost of Lord McTavish. Well, we've seen it. Let's go.
Well, let's all keep calm about this. We'll just be quiet. Out!
It's getting late, Tony. Let's get out of here.
Ozzie, you're carrying my coat. Wait!
Oz, the door won't open. I keep turning the handle and it won't open.
Stop it, Tony. You've got hold of my nose.
This way, boys. Tony, the door's over here.
Follow me. I'll make one of my own.
More coffee, dear?
No, thanks. I can't understand it. There must be some scientific explanation. Did I seem very scared out there?
No, not especially.
I mean, did I act in any way that might give somebody the impression that this illusion we saw frightened me?
No, you were very level-headed about it. Of course, it was the first time I've ever seen you jump a 7-foot fence.
I didn't think I could fool you. That thing, whatever it was, scared the daylights out of me.
I was plenty scared myself. I can't figure out those bagpipes.
No, and then what about the ghost?
Oh, well, yes, of course, the ghost, too.
Harriet, what are you stuffing behind the sofa pillow?
Oh, nothing, dear, just some old papers and things.
Wait a minute, let me see that.
It's only an old sheet.
You'll get the couch dirty. It's got cobwebs. Cobwebs!
How about a little more coffee?
And there's Ricky's baseball bat, the one I... Harriet, if you'd like to make a little confession, I'll listen. But if you'd rather not, I'd rather you would.
All right, dear. Just the boys and I thought it would be nice if you could have a little fun on Halloween. You told them how much you enjoyed going to some haunted house. So we thought that if we could sort of... Ozzie, listen.
I'm listening. Go on.
No, listen. The bagpipes.
Yeah.
I hear the bagpipes again.
So do I.
Hey, Pop, can we have a dime?
Boys, listen. Do you hear bagpipes playing?
Sure, that's what we want the dime for. He's out front now.
Who's out front?
Mr. Campbell, the man with the Scotch Flat ice cream truck.
The Scotch Flat ice cream truck?
Well, sure. Haven't you ever seen him? Can we have a dime, Pop?
A dime? Here's 50 cents. Stuff yourselves.
Thanks, Pop. Good boy. Hurry up, Dad.
How about that? The bagpipes we heard at the McAdams place were from the Scotch Flat ice cream truck.
What a coincidence.
How remarkable. You see, the Scotch Flat ice cream truck happened to stop there. See, there are no other houses around, and nobody lives there, but he happened to stop there. Played a different tune up there, too, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Harriet, believe me, it was only the Scotch Flat ice cream truck.
Yes, I know, dear.
I'll say it just once more. The bagpipes we heard at the McAdams place were from the Scotch Flat ice cream truck.
Okay, dear, you convinced me.
I wish I could convince myself. I'd like to get some sleep tonight.
We'll be back in just a moment. Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of hope the bagpipe music didn't come from the Scotch Plaid ice cream truck. Because that's the way Halloween ought to be. Lots of mysterious tapping at every window, witches riding through the air, spirits in every tree.
I've already had a message from the Halloween spirits, Mr. Smith. Last night on my way down Rogers Road, a voice spoke to me suddenly out of nowhere.
Honest? What did it say?
Beware. If you don't give us a special treat on Halloween, we'll spirit your new set of 1847 Rogers Brothers away from you. Beware.
Hey, now, there's a smart ghost if there ever was one.
You mean I have a smart son if there ever was one. He hasn't heard me raving about my new 1847 Rogers Brothers for nothing.
Oh, nobody raves about 1847 Rogers Brothers for nothing. There are all kinds of good reasons for getting excited about it. 1847 is the finest silver plate in America, you know. No other silver plate in the world can match its beautiful features. Features like the exceptional height and depth of the pattern ornament, and the extra luster, perfect weight and balance of each piece. Those are the features that make 1847 Rogers Brothers really more like solid silver.
And don't forget the price of 1847 Rogers Brothers, Mr. Smith.
Oh, impossible to forget that, because it's so unusual. 1847 prices haven't gone up since 1945. Not a single penny. So, no matter how you look at it, 1847 Rogers Brothers is the silverware you want for your home. It's the best, the finest silver plate in America. Famous 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Oh, come on, dear. Put out the light. Let's go to sleep.
In a few minutes, Harriet. I just want to finish this article. Debunking the spook.
Debunking the spook?
Yeah, the man who wrote it spent the night in a house that was supposed to be haunted. As I sat there in the darkness, I could hear the clock in the village striking 12. Now was the witching hour. If ever the dead lived, now was the time they must rise from the grave. I stood up and dared the ghost to appear. I said, if you were a ghost, I dare you to strike me dead. Silly article.
What happened next?
Well, and let's see, he goes on to...
Yes?
The article ends right there.
Oh, come on, dear. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
You know what might be fun? Let's sleep with the lights on tonight.
Tune in next week to another adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
And remember, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Yes, Harriet, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Appearing in support of Ozzie and Harriet were John Brown, Janet Waldo, Henry Blair, Tommy Bernard, and Jack Kirkwood. Original music was composed and conducted by Billy May. This program originates in the Hollywood studios of the National Broadcasting Company and is also broadcast over the Trans-Canada Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This adventure of Ozzie and Harriet will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
The Campbells are coming. No, Lord McTavish.
Ozzie!
It's a ghost.
Ozzie, wake up!
What's all the racket, Mom?
Daddy's having a nightmare.
Is that what he's doing? I know he's really scared us.
Well, it frightened me, too.
Okay, now we're even.
Week for the next adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard. This is Vern Smith speaking.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet, Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet, Please for tonight is called The Room Where the Ghosts Live.
No, I won't let you take me out of the house. No, I'm going to stay right here.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
But, Lawrence, we've got to get you to a hospital. Now stop being a fool.
I won't. I'm going to die anyway, and I don't want to die in an ambulance somewhere out on an icy road between here and town. I'm sorry, that's final.
I can't do anything for you here, Lawrence.
Maybe I don't want you to do anything for me, Doctor.
I'm going to call the ambulance.
How?
By telephone, of course.
The telephone isn't working.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
That's funny, isn't it?
What?
What a couple of days of snow can do. No lights, no heat, no water. Just like the days when they lived here.
When who lived here?
The ghosts.
Open your mouth.
What for?
Thermometer.
I'm not raving, Doctor.
Well, let's see anyway. Feel any pain?
Sure.
Worse than it was?
A
little morphine won't hurt. It's a good thing I decided to stop him for a cup of coffee. You might have died here all by yourself.
I'm going to die anyway.
Not if I can help it.
Can't help.
Oh, stop that nonsense. They have you alone. All right, now. That'll relieve the pain in a minute or two.
Okay.
I could take you to the hospital in my car.
No.
And I think I will.
No.
Lawrence, what got into you? What do you want to die for?
Great thermometer.
No, not yet. There's nothing wrong with you. You've been the happiest. You've got everything to live for.
No.
Then you go and shoot yourself.
Yep.
Where did you get this pistol, anyway?
Gift.
Didn't you know it was loaded?
Sure.
That powder and ball have probably been in there for 50 years.
Longer than that.
What?
Longer than that.
Well, there's no telling what kind of infection you can get from that bullet.
No. Don't die, that's all.
Let's see that thermometer.
High temperature, huh?
Yeah, it's just pretty high. I guess you're not going to the hospital after all, though.
I told you that, Doctor.
I couldn't move you with that high temperature.
That's fine. But I told you I wasn't going to be moved anyway. So you see...
Who gave you this pistol?
A British colonel.
What British colonel?
His name's on the lock plate.
Lieutenant Colonel Robert Charles Graves, 17th Regiment of Foot, 1774. Ancestor of the fellow that gave it to you?
No. He gave it to me himself. Yesterday.
Lawrence, how could he?
He's one of the ghosts.
I see.
No, you don't. I'm not delirious, Doctor. He really is.
No. Just relax, Lawrence.
Of course. I'm going to die anyway. Isn't that so?
I'm afraid it is.
Good.
Lawrence.
What?
Why did you do it?
Well, I'm not sure whether I did it on purpose or not. I wanted to, but maybe it was an accident. Or maybe
what?
Maybe one of the ghosts. No, I don't think so. I guess it was an accident. I'm glad, though.
But why?
Well, on account of Melanie.
Melanie? Melanie who? Who's Melanie?
Melanie is a girl who lived here 170 years ago.
What?
And who still lives here. It hurts quite a bit, Doctor.
You want me to give you some more morphine?
I guess not. No. I want to tell you things.
Well...
You won't believe me, of course. You think my mind's wandering. Don't you?
Well, What difference does it make?
Yeah, that's right. Nothing makes any difference now.
fellow takes a long time dying, doesn't he? After a while, we're the time, huh? Pretty soon, I'll be a ghost, too. See, Melanie. I'd like a little drink of brandy.
Well, just a second. Here, now take it easy.
Thanks. Good brandy. Wish I could take some along. It's good.
I wish I could do something for you, Lawrence.
Nothing. Snowed in, aren't we? Sure. We mustn't leave. I couldn't come back, you know. I have to stay here.
I don't understand that.
I have to stay here, I said. My house. What was I talking about?
The ghosts.
Oh, yes. So I tried to keep the house like it was in the old days, see. All by myself. Been fun. And then noises. Heard noises.
What kind of noises?
People beating on door, rattling the latch. Every night. I'm not afraid, Doctor.
I know.
Well, I got up. Went all over the house. Noises stopped after a while.
It wasn't a dream?
No dream. Beating on the door someplace. Always sounded like it came from right over there. You see?
Well, there isn't any door there, Lawrence.
That's what I thought. My hands are cold.
I'll build up the fire.
No. I know what it is. I haven't got much time, huh? Have I?
No, Lawrence, you haven't got much time, old man.
I have to hurry. Shut your eyes so you can see what I saw. I mean, I didn't see it, because it was dark. So, when you shut your eyes, you feel the way I felt.
Huh? All right, Lawrence.
I walked all over the house, lights on. No sound, no hammering on door. No door. I turn off the lights, it starts again. From right over there. I turn on the lights, no door, no noise. And then I get an idea. I turn off the lights again. I walk over where the sound comes from. And there is a door. And I think I hear a woman crying. And footsteps and furniture being shoved around. I said I wasn't scared, didn't I? Well, I was then. You'd be scared, too. Finding a door where there isn't any door, and there's somebody on the other side.
But that's the outside wall of the house, Lawrence.
No.
What?
There's a room there. The room where the ghosts live. You see?
No, I don't.
I didn't know it, too. You got your eyes shut?
Yes.
If you could hear the noise, like I heard it. Rather pounding. People pushing their shoulders against the locked door. And I could smell smoke. You see, I didn't know about the ghosts then.
Well, how do you know now?
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm sorry.
Keep your eyes shut. I want you to feel the way I felt. And believe. I reached for the lights again. I turned them on. Nothing happens, just nothing. Except pounding on the door. Slower now. And the woman crying. And I hear her scream. Oh, screw, she said. It's French. It means help, help. And I heard her voice again. Frightened. Very up for what she said. That's French, too. Means open the door. So I tried to open it, and it was locked. And they were pounding and She was coughing. And at last I found the key. I yanked the door open. And the ghost came out. And the lights came back on. There wasn't any door. There wasn't anybody in the room but me. But then I heard something. Somebody walking across the floor down the hall. So I turned and went down the hall after the footsteps, down toward my room. Then I stopped dead. Because the door to my room closed and somebody locked it.
You dreamed that?
No. It was locked from the inside. So was every other door in the house.
That couldn't be.
Try the doors. Open your eyes and try the doors. Go ahead.
Lawrence,
No, go ahead. I'll keep on talking. You have to believe me. Go ahead. So, what did I do? I lay down here on the davenport with the lights on, and I tried to think, but nothing made any sense. I got up and I tried the outside door. It was unlocked. So I went outside. I had some crazy idea maybe there was a room there. There wasn't, of course. But there were footprints in the snow. Some men's footprints. And a girl's. This last snow's covered them all up again, I guess. Well, what about the doors, Doctor?
They're locked. From the inside.
You see? Did you hear anything? Did you?
Well, I thought I heard someone moving. As if I'd awakened somebody. But it was probably my imagination.
No, it wasn't. Oh, I'm getting so tired.
No,
Randy. No. So I came back in, and I sat down. And I hardly noticed that the lights were off again, and then I heard something else. And I said, "Who's that?" And a woman's voice answered me in the dark.
I'm Mary.
Well, who's Melanie?
Once I was a maid in this house in the time of the war, when the soldiers were captured on Christmas night at Trenton. And these escaped and came here to be hidden by Monsieur Maurice. For he was no patriot, and they were kept...
And you'd think I'd be surprised, but I wasn't very. I didn't interrupt her. She went right on telling me how Morris was a loyalist, and how he hid the officers, and how the neighbors suspected him and spied on him.
Then Monsieur Maurice must go away, you see. And I was left alone to bring food to the poor soldiers. And there was a night when I took their food to them. And when I would go from the room, I found the door to be locked from the other side. And soon we smelled the smoke of the fire. For someone had set fire to the house to destroy these men. And we beat upon the door, but it did not avail us. And so we perished in the fire, I and the British officers. And there was none to know our fate. And for our sins, we are bound forever to this house. Although I have not sinned so very greatly. And I would thank you for releasing us from that room. For so many times we have cried out, yet no one would open the door.
And I opened the door, but now all my doors are locked against me.
Yes. They say it is their house now. And no man can open the doors again.
I think we'll see about that.
They say you must go away.
Well, I'm not going away.
I should be sorry when you go away.
You would?
You have released us. I am grateful.
Thanks. I think they'd be grateful, too.
They are soldiers, monsieur. and they have not forgotten the manner of your death. This is their revenge, that no man shall live in this house.
Well, that's fine. I'm to be chased out of my house by a bunch of ghosts.
It is so, monsieur.
How do you feel about it?
I could wish you could always be here, monsieur.
So?
Yes, monsieur. But it cannot be. Unless.
Unless what?
It cannot be.
If I turned on the lights, could I see you?
No, monsieur. The eyes of the living cannot see us.
What did you look like?
I did have blue eyes, monsieur. And my hair was black. And I was not very tall. And my feet were very small.
And your clothes?
Once I had a gown of taffeta. And it was blue, like my eyes, I remember. And there was a cap of lace for my grandmother in Brittany.
And I was struck with a sudden impulse to see this girl with the black hair and the taffeta dress that matched her eyes. And I jumped up and snapped the lights out. And the room was empty. And so I knew I'd been dreaming.
Oh, cool.
But I wasn't dreaming, my friend. She came to me the next night. And the next. Oh, it's so cold. Am I dying now? Is this what it feels like?
Yeah, take a little sip of this.
Oh.
Better?
How much longer? Well, see, friend, I found myself in love with a ghost. Yes, Melanie. And she loves me, Doctor. And we talked about it so much. There must be a way out. But there couldn't be a way out. And the others kept telling her I must go on, and I asked you to go to them. I'm sorry. Go to them and beg them to let me stay. It was the only way. But she told me they said no, they'd made a pact between themselves and they'd not alter it. And the time was getting short. They were sorry, they said, but... And then, last night, she came to me again. When the snow was piling deeper and deeper around the windows, and I said, Melanie, I can't go now. Can't they see that? And she said...
I have spoken again with the colonel.
And what did he say?
He will come to you, he said.
And what?
He will not speak to the living.
But what good?
I do not know. He said he will come to you.
When?
Tonight. Do not speak. Say, Monsieur le Colonel. I have the honor to present Monsieur the Lieutenant Colonel Robert Charles Graves of His Majesty's 17th Regiment of Foot. Monsieur the Colonel wishes me to present his compliments to you and to say to you that he has taken counsel with his fellow officers. No, do not speak. Monsieur le Colonel wishes me also to say that he and his fellow officers have come to a decision in the matter of yourself. They honor you for your devotion to me, and they beg leave to supply you with the means of assuring you permanent residence in this house. Yes, the Colonel begs you to accept as a token of his esteem this.
I turned on the lights. It was there on the floor. Flintlock pistol loaded Godetia black flint. Personal gift from Robert Charles Graves, 17th foot. Well, I thought a long time. Turned off the lights. Called her. No answer. Talked to her. Told her I loved her. Wasn't brave enough to. Said I loved her. Couldn't do it. Tried. No, I didn't do it. No, I didn't. Long toward morning, I heard footsteps again. Boots, sword, spurs clicking. Knew who it was. Said, "Hello, Colonel." Said, "Colonel, thanks, only haven't got courage enough." "Always love her, Colonel," I said. Said, "Here's your pistol." I'm a coward. Drink, please. And then I wake up here. Daylight. See? It's Colonel Graves. Good enough fella show me way out. Good enough fella. No trigger for me. Hello. Well, I'm in your blue taffety dress. And your little eyes. And your black.
You have listened to Quiet Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper. Lawrence, the man who spoke to you, was Ernest Chappell. And Melanie was Claudia Morgan. The doctor was played by James Van Dyke. Our sound effects by Albert Afro. Music for Quiet Please, except for our theme, which is from the Allegretto movement of the César Franck Symphony in D minor, is composed and played by Albert Berman. Now for a word about next week's Quiet Please, here is our writer-director, Willis Cooper.
Baker's Dozen is the title of next week's story, the story of One Man, Two Men.
This is the National Broadcasting System.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with All in Favor, Say Aye. They say that a man is known by the company he keeps. Well, I'd say that many a woman is known by the meal she serves to her company. Now, you can always be sure of yourself when you're planning Jell-O for dessert. You know from the very start that it's bound to be a success. No matter how you serve it, Jell-O is a triumph. A shimmering mold of strawberry Jell-O garnished with nuts and whipped cream. Sherbet glasses of twinkling Jell-O cubes. Rich red cherry or sea green lime. A beautiful mold of layered Jell-O. Golden lemon with rose-colored raspberry. Foamy whipped Jell-O, as light as a cloud. Oh, there are dozens and dozens of ideas, all grand-looking and all grand-tasting. For Jell-O brings you that wonderful extra-rich flavor that can't be topped for delicious goodness. Just be sure to look for those big red letters on the box that spell Jell-O. For that name is a trademark, the property of General Foods, and it tells you here is the real thing. The one and only Jell-O. Say Aye, played by the orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Tonight, Jack Benny officially opens his social season with a Halloween masquerade party at his house for the whole gang. So without further ado, we whisk you to Jack's home in Beverly Hills. Take it away.
Ay, ay, no rancho grande. Ay, ay, no Santa Fia.
Rochester, hand me those slippers.
Okay, boss.
Rochester, will you please stop that yodeling and help me with my costume? I want to be all dressed up when the others get here.
You sure look funny in that outfit, boss. Who are you supposed to be?
What's that?
What famous character are you struggling to convey?
Look, Rochester, I'm wearing a red jacket with a lace collar, a plush hat with a plume in it, and silk tights. Now, who am I?
I don't know.
I'm Romeo. Romeo.
The great lover?
Yes.
Say, boss, ain't you pressing a little?
Rochester, stop worrying about me and my costume. This is just what they wore in those days. My goodness, haven't you ever seen a Shakespearean play?
I never saw the Mikado till they swung it.
Now, don't be a critic. Now, get busy and put those jack-o'-lanterns in the window.
Okay, boss.
And, Rochester, I thought I told you to spread those corn stalks all around the living room. We got to have some atmosphere.
Can't we have atmosphere that's easier to clean up?
Rochester, I wouldn't complain. Now, get busy before the guests arrive. Answer the door. Gee, I wonder if I got these tights on backwards. Oh, well, they're the same either way. I guess they're all right.
Hello, Rochester.
Hello, Miss Livingston.
Oh, hello, Mary. Hey, Mary, this is a masquerade. You're wearing a fur coat. What are you supposed to be?
A fan dancer at the North Pole.
Well, it is pretty cold there.
Oh, Jack, I was only kidding. I got my costume on underneath. Look.
Well, I'll be darned. A campfire girl. Gee, that's cute, Mary.
Thanks. What are you supposed to be, Jack, in those silk tights?
What am I supposed to be? I'm Romeo.
Romeo?
Yes.
You mean the Romeo and Juliet?
Of course. Why?
You look like you fell off the balcony.
Oh, I do.
No kidding, Jack. Of all the things to wear, gee, that looks silly.
Mary, it's not silly. I got this Romeo costume because he was the greatest lover of all time.
Did you get a book of instructions with it?
Never mind. Now, Mary, we're having a swell party tonight, so try and be nice.
Who's coming, Jack?
Well, there's Don Wilson and Dennis Day and Phil Harris.
Yeah?
And then I invited Barbara Stanwyck and Robert Taylor, Carol Lombard and Clark Gable, Tyrone Power and Annabella, and Ginger Rogers.
Gee, what names? Are they all coming?
No, they had a headache. Isn't that too bad?
Yeah, every time you give a party, there's an epidemic.
Oh, well, we'll have lots of fun with our own little gang. I hate celebrities. Hey, Rochester, stay away from that punch bowl.
I just wanted to see if it was strong enough.
Strong enough?
Yeah, the last party you gave, nobody passed out.
Rochester, I don't give those kind of parties. That's just plain fruit juice.
Mm-hmm. Poor Mr. Harris.
Don't feel so sorry for him. The shock will do him good.
Say, Jack, can I help you get the food ready?
Thanks, Mary, but Mrs. Day has volunteered to help me. She's out in the kitchen now.
Mrs. Day? You mean Dennis's mother is helping you?
Yes.
And she's going to prepare the food?
Certainly.
And you're going to eat it?
Of course. We're friends now. Gee whiz, Mary, don't be so suspicious. Gee. I told Mrs. Day she could prepare the whole meal.
I'm dining out.
Rochester! You'll stay right here and take a chance like I do. Gosh, Mary, to hear you talk, you'd think Mrs. Day was gonna... You'd think she was gonna poison... Oh, perish the thought. Anyway, Mary, when you get to know Mrs. Day, she's a very sweet woman.
Hey, boss.
Yes?
Where do you want me to hang this mistletoe?
Mistletoe? Don't put that up now. That's for Christmas.
Let him alone, Jack. We'll help your Romeo costume.
Mary, I can do all right by myself. Now, let's see.
Mr. Benny, I was wondering. Oh, good evening, Miss Livingston.
Hello, Mrs. Day.
Oh, is there anything I can do for you, Mrs. Day?
I can't seem to find the sugar. Where do you keep it?
The sugar? Have you looked in the sugar bowl?
Yes, and all I found was $85.
Oh, yes, that's my little nest egg, number 12. Say, Rochester, where do we keep the sugar?
$85 is sugar to me.
Well, you just forget where it is. Mrs. Day, I think you'll find the sugar on the second shelf right in back of the shoe polish. It's in a big can.
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
You're welcome. And by the way, Mrs. Day, from now on, let's not be so formal. Please call me by my first name, Jack.
Very well, Jack. And I want you to call me Lucretia.
I hope I don't get your place.
Now, Mary, that's just a coincidence. Mrs. Day wouldn't... Oh, don't try and scare me. Rochester, what are you doing at that punch bowl?
I was just going to pour in a little Central Avenue.
I told you I didn't want any alcohol in it. I wanted to be plain fruit juice.
Shucks, people won't even pop for apples in that.
Never mind. See who's at the door, Rochester.
Okay, boy.
Well, they're coming. How does my costume look, Mary?
Your tights are a little droopy. Pull them up.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Mr. Day. Come on in.
Hello, Rochester. Why, Dennis. Mary, look at him.
Well, I'll be darned.
Dennis, this is a costume party.
I know. I'm supposed to be a tramp.
A tramp? What are you wearing a tuxedo for?
Gee, this is Hollywood, ain't it?
Oh, I see. You're a colossal tramp. Well, that's very novel.
Oh, say, Miss Livingston, you look wonderful in that campfire girl suit.
Thank you, Dennis.
And you too, Mr. Benny. You make a swell ballet dancer.
I'm not a ballet dancer. I'm Romeo. Romeo.
Why don't you have some cards printed, Jack?
That won't be necessary. Now, Dennis.
Yes, please?
Dennis, don't think I invited you over to my house to work tonight, but we're going to have a little entertainment later on. It would be nice if you'd sing a number.
Oh, I'd be glad to, Mr. Benny. Oh, do you mind if I run through it first?
No, go right ahead. There's a piano right there. Would you like me to accompany you on the violin? Would you, Dennis?
Gee, I'm afraid to say no.
Oh.
That gives you an idea, Jack. Now leave the kid alone.
Okay, go ahead, Dennis. Try out your song. Mary, the gang will be here pretty soon. Help me count this silverware. You take the spoon. Now, here's the...
Oh, Mr. Benny, have you any iodine?
Yes, Mrs. Day. What?
I knew it.
What was that, Mrs. Day?
I said, have you any iodine?
Iodine?
Yes. I just cut my finger.
Let me see that. Gee, that's swell. I mean, that's too bad. Oh, Mrs. Day, you want some iodine. You'll find a bottle in the medicine chest.
Thank you.
Dennis, go ahead with your song. Gee, for a minute, Gee, well, Mary, get me a glass of water.
I poured my heart into a song, and when you hear it, please remember from the start, you won't be hearing just the words and tune of a song. You will be listening to my heart. I poured my heart into a song, and I'm afraid the words I chose are not so smart. I couldn't think of clever things to say in my song. I had to say it with my heart. If it never played on the hit parade, it will still contain a heart that is beating true. If it's not a hit, I won't mind a bit, long as it conveys the love that I bear for you. Here is my heart wrapped in a song, and if you take it, please don't tear my song apart. For if you do, you won't be just destroying a song. You will be tearing off my
That was swell. It's really a lovely song.
Yeah, why don't you sing it on our program sometime?
That's not a bad idea. Now make yourself at home, Dennis. The others will be here pretty soon. Rochester, for the third time, will you please stay away from that punch bowl?
Well, I'm worried about it.
Well, it's no concern of yours. It's just plain fruit juice, and it's going to stay that way.
You mean there's no hope for advancement?
Exactly. Now get away from there. Well, here comes some more of them. Mary, why don't you go out in the kitchen and help Mrs. Day?
You mean watch her, don't you?
I mean help her. Don't try and scare me every minute.
Hello, Rochester. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
My goodness, Don, what kind of a costume is that? What are you supposed to be?
A dish of Jell-O.
Oh, yes. I see those sliced bananas around your neck. My, you're a heaping dish, aren't you?
What's that on your head, Don?
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream? Well, that's a novelty. I bet you win a prize tonight for the best costume.
Oh, Mr. Benny.
Yes, Dennis?
I was wondering if I could see Carmichael. You know, I've never seen a real polar bear.
Why, of course, Dennis, although he's a little grouchy tonight. You know, he's mad because I wouldn't let him come to the party.
Well, some other time, maybe.
No, Dennis, you can see him right now. Rochester, take Dennis upstairs and show him Carmichael.
Carmichael?
Yes.
I'd better not disturb him, boss. He's reading Grapes of Wrath.
I'm reading that. Take it away from him.
Take it away from him? He's using my thumb for a bookmark now.
Oh, don't exaggerate. Now take Dennis upstairs. Never mind, answer the door. That guy has to argue about everything.
Say, Jack, I must tell you, you look swell in that Romeo costume.
You see, Miss Livingston? Well, thanks, Don. How'd you know I was Romeo?
Mary pinned the sign on your back.
Mary. Let's see that sign. Oh, fine. Romeo kicked me. Mary, throw this away.
Well, well, Mr. Harris, come on in.
Hi, everybody. Come on in, fellas.
Hey, Phil, I'm glad you brought your band along.
Say, Jackson, you sure got the house fixed up swell.
Haven't I, though?
Oh, boy, look at those corn stalks.
Wouldn't you know it, folks? The first thing. Well, I suppose you fellas are all thirsty. There's a nice bowl of punch on the other side of the room. Walk over and have a drink.
It ain't worth the trip.
That's none of your business, Rochester. Say, Phil, that's not a bad-looking costume you've got on. May I ask whom you represent in that cap and gown?
I'm a college professor.
Oh, professor. Phil, I don't like to say this, but you haven't got the mentality for your costume, has he, Mary?
No, and you haven't got the body for yours.
Mary, regardless of what you think, I do look like Romeo.
No kidding. Are you supposed to be Romeo?
That's me, Phil, the great lover.
Oh, no, Jackson. No.
Phil, it's not that unbelievable, so don't knock yourself out. Hey, Rochester, I thought I told you to take Dennis upstairs to see the polar bear.
Maybe he's asleep.
He's not asleep. Now show Dennis that trick you did with Carmichael yesterday.
You mean the one where I put my head in his mouth?
That's it. That's the one.
That was no trick. He just caught me when I was bending over.
Well, he was only playing. Now take Dennis upstairs.
Can I go up and see the bear alone, Mr. Benny?
Of course you can, Dennis. His room is right at the head of the stairs. Now run along.
Thanks. Goodbye, please.
Isn't he polite? Huh?
Oh, Jack, you ought to have your head examined.
Mary, I look all right.
I mean sending that kid upstairs alone with a polar bear.
Oh, well, Dennis is perfectly safe. Carmichael isn't vicious. He's just playful.
Playful?
Yes.
Next time he plays with me, we're going to have bear and dumplings.
Rochester, if you lay a hand on Carmichael, I'll send you back to that cabin in the cotton. Now remember that.
How soon do we go to eat, Jack? I'm getting hungry.
Are you down? Well, I got a surprise for you. Mrs. Day is out in the kitchen preparing the dinner.
You mean Dennis's mother?
Yes, we're pals now.
Say, that's wonderful, isn't it?
We shall see, the captain shouted.
Mary, I want you to stop with that silly idea of yours. Mrs. Day is preparing... Hey, Rochester! Rochester, what did you put in that punch bowl?
You mean just now?
Yes, just now. What did you put in that punch?
I was just stirring it.
Rochester, what did you put in that punch?
It could have been an idle gesture, you know.
Rochester, for the last time, what did you put in that punch?
Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum.
Rum?
One side, man. I'm the leader.
fellas. There's punch enough for everybody. I'll see you later, Rochester. Oh, Mrs. Day, I was just telling Don about the marvelous meal you're preparing. How's it coming along?
Oh, fine. I just took the pumpkin pie out of the oven.
Pumpkin pie? Oh, boy.
And you know what, Mr. Benny?
What?
I had some crust left over, so I made a special little pie just for you.
Well, I'm sure it'll be delicious, Mrs. Day. Say, fellas. Before we go in to eat, what do you say we have a little entertainment? You know, everyone do something.
Everybody take part.
Okay, what do we do?
Well, how about Mary and Phil singing a number?
That's swell. How about it, Mary?
Oh, Jack, I don't want to sing.
Me neither.
All right, then I'll tell you what. I'll play a good hot violin solo. How's that?
Let's sing, Phil. We haven't a minute to lose.
I knew that would do the trick. Come on, Phil. You too, Mary. Go ahead and sing. Wait a minute. Hold everything. Come in. Well, who's this?
I don't know. He's got on a white sheet and he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, he's disguised as a ghost.
Yeah, I wonder who it is. Who are you, stranger?
I ain't talking. You gotta guess.
Gee, I wonder who that can be.
Maybe it's Clark Gable. You invited him.
That's right. Are you Clark Gable, mister?
No, but you're hot.
Gee, this is a mystery, all right, huh?
Come on, be a sport. Take your mask off, stranger.
Yes, the suspense is awful.
Okay, fellas. Hiya, Buck.
Well, I'll be doggone. It's Andy Devine. Well, Andy.
I sure had you fooled, didn't I?
You certainly did. Well, make yourself at home, Andy. Come on, take off that sheet.
I can't do it, Buck. There's nothing under here but me.
Oh, well, then keep it on, by all means. Say, Andy, what do you think of my costume? How do you like these tights?
It's swell. What are you supposed to be, a Floridora girl?
No, I'm not a Floridora girl. I'm Romeo.
Romeo?
Yes.
Well, I guess closer than you did.
I don't know about that. Well, Andy, go over there and have a glass of punch. And Phil, you come back here. You got to sing.
Coming, Jackson.
Sit down, Andy. Phil and Mary are going to do a song, and then we'll all have something to eat.
Oh, that's
What's it going to be, Phil?
Well, it's a brand new song called Make with the Kisses.
Okay, and Don and I will take the second chorus. Hit it, boys.
Kisses.
Make with the sighs.
Make with the baby talk. Give with the eyes.
Here I am making with the I'll be true.
And everyone's making love to someone. What goes with you?
Make with the kisses. Make with the thrill.
Make with the snuggle up. That brings the chills.
The sky's making with the moon above.
It couldn't be brighter, hold me tighter. Make with the love.
Take it, Don, take it.
Make with the lemon. Make with the lime.
You make with Jell-O, most all the time.
That's what I like to do, and it's my job.
It fills the billsy.
Quiet, Filsy. You're on the cob.
Make with the cherry. Strawberry, too.
Well, how about raspberry? That goes for you.
Let's get together now and give a cheer. Be a good fellow.
Make with Jell-O.
And we'll work next year. Hey! Well, that was very clever, Don.
Hey, Buck, how about me singing a chorus?
Oh, no, Andy, nothing to it. We'll be eating pretty soon.
Come on and get it, everybody. Food's on the buffet. No cover charge.
Yeah, this way, everybody, and help yourself.
Oh, Jack, look at that lovely buffet. Mrs. Day certainly fixed a swell supper.
Oh, boy. Jell-O, baked ham, spaghetti, pickles.
Uh-huh. salad.
Salad, cheese, candied yams. Yes, sir.
And a great big dish of caviar.
Yikes! I thought I hit that. Oh, well, it's Halloween. Help yourselves, boys. Phil, unless that plate you're fixing is for your whole band, take it easy. My goodness. Mary, look what you did. Look what you dropped on my new Chinese rock. Look what you did with your duck.
Well, well, it's chopped through, so don't worry.
Don't worry, she says. I'll never get that out.
Have some more baked ham, Mr. Devine. It's mighty good, mighty delicious.
Don't sell it, just serve it. And please, everybody, stop grabbing.
This is sure a swell party, Buck. I wish Ma and Pa could be here.
Say, why'd you bring them along, Andy?
Well, it's Halloween, and they had to stay home and keep an eye open.
Oh.
You know, we live out in the country where things ain't so modern.
Well, they're sure missing a good time.
Well, folks, how'd you like the food?
Really, it's swell, Mrs. Day. It's wonderful.
Now, everybody be sure and save room for some nice homemade pumpkin pie. And here's a little one I made especially for you, Mr. Benny.
Gee. Thanks.
Here you are.
Well, take it.
Don't rush me. Well, it certainly looks delicious, doesn't it, Phil?
Yeah. Mind if I taste it?
No, of course not. Here, have a bite.
Thanks. Not bad.
Next week, Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadian.
Mary. You like it, Phil?
Let me have a bite of that, too. I want to see if I made it sweet enough.
You mean you're going to eat a little piece of this little pie, Mr. Day?
Of course. Why not?
Oh, nothing. Darn you, Mary Livingston. Well, let's dig in. Pumpkin pie. Oh, boy. Gosh, this is swell.
I kind of had you going there, didn't I, Jack?
You did not. I knew you were kidding all the time.
The color's coming back in your face, too.
Well, that's good. Now, fellas, as soon as we get through eating, we're going to play games. What'll it be?
I know. Let's play post office.
Why, Mrs. Day, Lucretia. I'll tell you what. What's that?
It's Carmichael.
What's the matter with him?
Mother, help.
Oh, my goodness, it's Dennis.
And Carmichael's right behind him.
Dennis, what are you doing with that bear?
Grab him, Rochester.
I got him, boss. Now he's got me.
Well, hang on to him. Carmichael, let go of Dennis. John, get away from that ham.
Man the lifeboat.
Quiet. Carmichael, quiet. Carmichael, quiet. Quiet, I say.
Carmichael, shut up.
Thanks, Mrs. Day. That stopped him.
Stopped him. He fainted.
That's good. Are you all right, Dennis?
Oh, sure. That was fun.
Fun?
Dennis, don't you ever tease that animal again.
But, Mother,
Never mind. Don't argue. Well, come on, everybody. Let's play post office.
Okay, folks.
That spooky time of year again when witches on broomsticks are apt to go fluttering past your housetop. In other words, folks, it's Halloween time, and what better way to celebrate the occasion than to have orange Jell-O for dessert. Orange Jell-O with that clear, glowing, golden color that's highly appropriate for Halloween. Molded in fancy shapes and decorated with fluffy whipped cream. Small chocolate cookies on the side will add to the color scheme, and you'll have a swell dessert. For orange Jell-O is a lovely sight to see, with that gay, sunshiny color, and it's swell to eat. Chock full of delicious, extra-rich fruit flavor. as refreshing and inviting as sun-ripened oranges. Every spoonful brings you back for more, but remember, to enjoy this wonderful extra-rich fruit flavor, you must be sure to ask for Jell-O by name. Don't accept any substitutes for Jell-O's fresh, glowing beauty, Jell-O's full-bodied flavor. Look for those big red letters on the box when you buy. They spell Jell-O.
Program in the new Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. You'll have to excuse me now, folks. We're still playing post office. Oh, Mary, did a message come from me yet?
Yes, the man's here for that Romeo costume.
Oh, and just when I got rolling. Good night, folks.
Here's news. Every Tuesday night, the Aldrich Family is on the air, starring Ezra Stone as Henry Aldrich, that lovable hard luck kid. Consult your local newspaper for time and stations, and be sure to tune in the Aldrich Family next Tuesday night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
In the movie Wake Island, he was the Brooklyn Marine. In Abroad with Two Yanks, he's Biff, the private. But tonight, he's just an overgrown kid anxiously waiting for Halloween.
I'll never forget. When I was just a boy, every Halloween my father used to stick me in the front window. We were too poor to buy a pumpkin.
The American Meat Institute presents William Bendix in The Life of Riley. The meat people of America, providing a great food for a great nation. If you put all of America's meat retailers together in one city, it would make another city as big as Indianapolis. There are more than 400,000 meat retailers in this country. Another important link in the chain that gives you good, fresh meat every day, America. And now, on behalf of all those engaged in supplying meat to the nation, the American Meat Institute presents The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. By day, Riley is engaged in the serious business of war production as a riveter in a California aircraft plant. But tonight we see his less serious side. It's 2 nights before Halloween, and Riley is full of the spirit of the thing. It's quite dark out, and Riley's son, Junior, is just returning from a meeting of the Young Wildcats, his club, in a very thoughtful mood.
Is that you, Pop?
Yeah, Junior.
What are you doing hiding on the back porch?
Listen, peek in the kitchen window and see what your mother's doing.
She's washing the supper dishes. Say, Pop, what are you doing with that false face on? You're Mickey Mouse, huh?
No, I'm not Mickey Mouse. I'm the Rat Man of Blood Bucket Castle.
Oh, at the dime store they sell those false faces for Mickey Mouse.
Never mind. I bet your mother will think I'm the Rat Man.
Oh, you gonna play a trick on Mom?
Yeah. You see, last night we saw a horror picture about a nice gruesome character, the Rat Man. He was a vampire. Has lunch on people's necks.
Oh, he ain't a rat. He's a bat.
Oh, well, he's very depressing. Anyway, afterwards, your mom was so scared something would pop out of a doorway at her, she walked all the way home in the middle of the street.
Mom said you made her walk out there.
No, I just invited her out in the street because it ain't polite to leave a lady walking on the sidewalk all alone. You watch now when I scratch at the door and she opens it up and sees me in this thing.
Oh, Okay, Pop, go ahead.
Okay, well, I hope she don't faint. Watch now.
Pop,
What?
bats don't growl, they squeak.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who's there?
We got her guessing.
Well, I never. It's Mickey Mouse. Junior, go get your father some cheese.
Ha ha! You sure fooled her, Pop. Yeah. Well, they don't make these masks as good as they used to. Or else maybe I got a very strong personality and it leaks through, probably.
Well, isn't it a little early for Halloween tricks, Riley?
Well, it don't hurt to get a head start. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Look, Junior, there's something else I bought at the Five and Dime. You see this book? Ghost Stories.
Well, thanks, Pop, but I don't want to read any ghost stories tonight.
What's the matter? You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
No, I don't believe in ghosts, but I don't want to read anything that might change my mind. Too many people think there's ghosts now.
Say, Dumpling, what's the matter with him?
Well, I don't know. Ever since he came home from school today, he's been asking me if I believe in haunted houses.
What a question. With the housing shortage, as sure as it is, who's going to leave a house empty for spooks?
Well, there's one empty house up on Chestnut Hill, Riley. You know, the old Sherwin place. Oh. Some people say that's haunted.
Yeah?
Mrs. Cornwell claims she saw a pale, white face at the window, too.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Oh, but Mrs. Cornwell's a great one for ghosts. She's always holding seances and things like that.
Yeah, that Cornwell kid's in Junior's club, too. I bet he's got our boy believing in ghosts. Well, I'm going to have a head-to-head talk with Junior. So you see, Junior, if I tell you there's no ghost, you can take my word for it. After all, I've been your father for 13 years, ain't I?
Oh, sure, Pop, but if there aren't any ghosts, what haunts haunted houses?
Listen, Junior, nothing haunts haunted houses.
Oh, yes, they do, Pop. Johnny Cornwell's mother proved the house was haunted.
How did she?
She said she saw a ghost face in the window at the old Sherwin house. It was a horrible face, too.
Oh, on. Mrs. Cornwell must have seen her own reflection. Says a dame should walk into a room backwards and break her face to you slowly.
Oh, then, Pop, then she came home and held a seance. She asked if what she saw was the ghost of Alice Sherwin, and she got 3 raps on the table. Well, that means yes in ghost language.
Fine language. All they can do is knock. They ought to be newspaper columnists.
You better not make fun of ghosts, Pop.
Look, Junior, would you sooner believe a ghost than your old man?
No, Pop. But if the ghost said it was a ghost, it ought to know.
Okay, I can see you're a septic. Now, we'll have a seance right here to prove what Mrs. Cornwell saw wasn't that Sherwin girl's ghost. Come on, put your hands up on this table. Right?
Gosh, Papa, are you going to ask a ghost to rap?
I'll show you. I'll put my hands on there, too, see? Okay, now I'll ask something. Are there any ghosts? See? No answer. No ghosts.
Nah, Pop. You have to ask for raps. 2 means no. 3 raps means yes.
Oh, well, okay. 2 raps for no, 3 for yes. I'll ask him again. Did Mrs. Cornwell see a ghost up at Sherwin's old haunted house?
Gosh, Pop, it said no.
You see, that proves it. Mrs. Cornwell's a phony.
Well, ask him again if there are any ghosts.
Okay. Are there any ghosts? Rap 2 for no. See that? The ghosts themselves say there aren't any ghosts. That proves it.
Wait a minute, Pop. How could a ghost rap 2 for no if there aren't any ghosts?
Well, that's very simple. I was just kidding, Sonny. I did that rapping myself. Honest.
Well, your hands were on the table.
Yeah, but my feet weren't. Look at, I just kicked up under that table with my foot like this.
Oh, Pop, I bet you wouldn't kid around like that in a genuine haunted house like the Sherwin place.
Well, sure I would, only I can't because I ain't going there.
Would you be scared to go if you were going?
Me? No.
Oh, that's good, Pop. No, I ain't scared to go neither.
How do you mean?
Well, down at my club tonight, we got to talking what we'd do Halloween. So we made it up we'd go find out if Sherwin's old house was haunted or if it wasn't.
Yeah. I pity any ghosts when them young wildcats get in that house.
Oh, we ain't all going inside, Pop. Just one of us got elected to go inside. The poor guy who got the short straw.
Who got it?
Well, I did.
I see. Well, Junior, you show him you know there aren't any ghosts in there. I'm proud of you, Junior, walking in there all alone. I think that's
I won't be all alone. I made up a rule the fellow who had to go in could take in another fella, his best friend.
Well, that's okay, too. If the guy you picked is a real friend, he'll go like a shot. Who'd you pick?
I picked you, Pop.
Well, I bet that... me. Look, Junior, I'm probably going to be very busy and...
Pop, you ain't scared to go, are you?
Well, no, but...
And you're my best friend, aren't you?
Huh? Well, yeah, I guess I am. Actually, the saying is that your mother is your best friend.
Well, I couldn't ask Mom to go, and I'm sure glad you're coming with me.
Yeah, me too, Junior. Chapter 13. As Lord Twitcher stood there in the dark hall of the great lonely house, he could feel something evil in the very air. A cold wind brushed his cheek, and an icy hand seemed to touch his spine. Suddenly, he saw the thing, and then he heard a sound, a low, wailing sound. Who's that?
It's only me, dear. Did I startle you?
No. No, I was just reading this book here.
Oh, the ghost stories you bought Junior, huh?
Yeah. Such nonsense.
My, it's a quiet Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonder what all those boys in Junior's club are doing tonight.
I know what they're doing. They're all sitting over across from our house right now on the fence, like a row of buzzards, waiting for us to come out.
Oh, are they going to the house with you?
Oh, they're going as far as the gate of the place to make sure we go in.
Oh, but you're not nervous about going, are you, dear? You don't believe in ghosts?
Well, no. You don't believe in them either, do you, Peg?
No. But there is something queer about that house.
Huh?
I wonder what did become of that poor Alice Sherwin.
Well, if nobody knows, I don't want to find out. What did they say happened to her?
Oh, awfully sad story. She was a bride, you know, beautiful girl. Well, they were on their honeymoon in Manila. He was a captain in the Navy. She and her husband were going to come home and live in that old house. Then, well, he was lost in an air raid. Some say they were both killed together. Others say that she followed him because she didn't want to live without him. Well, anyhow, the house stands there empty, waiting for the bride and bridegroom that never came to live in it.
People ought to leave the place alone. And I'm one of the people.
Well, after you go there tonight, maybe people will stop talking and gossiping about the house, because you'll prove there's nothing there.
Yeah, maybe. Now, what was all that talk about seeing lights and faces around the place?
Oh, just talk, I suppose.
Yeah.
But they do say that they saw a woman's figure at the window in the attic.
Pop! Junior, what's the idea of sneaking in like that?
It's time to go, Pop.
Huh? Oh, well, yeah. Well, okay, Junior. Goodbye, Dumpling.
Goodbye, boys.
Sure dark out, isn't it, Pop?
Yeah.
Pop, that Sherwin house we're going to, it can't be really haunted, can it?
No.
But it's funny that people have seen a ghost in there.
Yeah, well, look, Junior, when we get in that house, you do just like I do. You won't see no ghosts.
Oh, what are you going to do, Pop?
I'm going to keep my eyes shut.
Well, not even nervous Riley has any idea of what's in store for him as he and Junior head for the mysterious old Sherwin place. We'll rejoin them in just a moment. Right now, this is Ken Niles speaking for Meat. The other day in a meat market, Mrs. Niles overheard a woman say, "Joe, I hear all this talk about braising meat, but just what meat do you braise?" Well, Joe the meat man told her, of course, and out of that comes this excellent thought. Maybe some of you would like a little review of the braising cuts of beef. Well, in the first place, braising is an ideal way of preparing the lean point-free beef coming on the market these days in order to bring out all its fine flavor and tenderness. And here are the favorite braising cuts: popular pot roast, juicy Swiss steak, tasty flank chops, easily cooked short ribs, country fried steaks, and... Oh, but why go on? My mouth is watering so much I can hardly talk now. But remember, braising is long cooking over low heat. And that's the way to good gravy, too. After all, whether you braise, roast, or broil meat, you are getting essential, highest quality proteins for which meat is nutritionally noted. Meat is a yardstick of protein foods because meat measures up to every protein need. And now back to the life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. It's just midnight, a very dark midnight. Even the moon is hiding on this Halloween. Riley and his son Junior are just approaching the rusty iron gate that guards the old Sherwin house, which is said to be haunted. Listen.
Here's the gate, Pop. Let's go in.
Maybe the gate's locked, so we can't get in. Gee, wouldn't that be too bad?
We've got to get in, Pop. The gang's followed us all the way from town, and they're still watching.
Yeah, they trail us like sharks after a sinking ship.
Let's go in, Pop.
Okay. What's that?
The gate. The hinges are all rusty.
Maybe we ought to go back to town and get some oil, huh?
Come on in the garden, Pop. Gosh, it's dark.
Yeah. Well, follow me, Junior.
Where are you?
Right behind you. Here. Give me your hand.
I see the house, Pop. The moon's coming out of a cloud.
Yeah. Junior.
Huh?
What's that over there?
Huh? I think that's your shadow, Pop.
If that's my shadow, why is it moving while I'm standing still?
Pop, it's coming this way.
And since when does a shadow make footsteps?
Good evening, Riley.
Oh, wait, Pop. It's your friend, Mr. Odell, the undertaker.
I know. Yeah. Oh, how are you, Digger? I never thought I'd be glad to see an undertaker.
You're looking fine, Riley. Very natural. Tell me, what are you doing here around the old Sherwin house?
Oh, nothing, Digger. We're just having some fun on Halloween.
Ah, Halloween. I adore Halloween. It's so gay.
Digger, do you hang around this old house much?
Oh, yes, indeed. It's one of my favorite haunts.
Haunts? Listen, you don't think there's anything in there, do you?
Who knows? Sometimes as I stroll through this old garden,
I feel unseen eyes follow me.
You do, huh?
Riley, you're not going inside the house?
Well, we thought we might drop in a minute. I could be talked out of it.
Take my advice, Riley. Remain outside. Enjoy the beautiful flowers. They're my favorite flowers. Lilies.
Digger, when you talk about lilies, please don't stare at my chest.
Strange how some people have no interest in horticulture. In my profession, we have a saying, you may not like flowers at first, but eventually they grow on you. By the way, Riley, how tall are you?
Well, I'm about 5 feet. Why?
I'd like to borrow your overcoat Saturday to wear at the football game.
Oh, sure.
I'll pick it up at 1 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
I want to get to the game before they kick off. Farewell, Riley. Oh, bury me not on the lone.
Here's the door to the house, Pop. It's open.
Well, leave it open. Why? Well, one thing, Junior, nobody will never be able to say your old man was a coward. Let's go in. Now let's go out.
Wait, Pop. We've only been in one room. We're supposed to go through the whole house.
As far as I'm concerned, this is a one-room house. Come on.
Oh, wait, Pop.
What for?
I told the kids you didn't believe in ghosts, and I said we'd have another seance like we did at home.
Junior, a blood relationship can only be stretched so far.
Oh, Pop, you said you'd do it in a haunted house, and if we didn't hear anything, it would prove there wasn't any around here.
I already proved there wasn't any around here.
Well, you didn't do it right.
Well,
I found out for a seance, the medium has to be tied in a chair so it can't pull no tricks.
Well, okay, Junior. I'd be glad to let you tie me up. Only there ain't no rope. Too bad.
I brought some rope, Pop.
That was swell of you, Junior. I'll remember this. Go ahead, tie me.
There. Can you move your hands or feet?
No, you tied me so tight Dan Green is sitting in. Now, stand over by the window where I can see you.
Oh, here I am, Pop.
You'll see, Junior. There won't be any raps this time.
Hope you're right, Pop.
Of course I'm right. How can there be any raps when I'm tied up too tight for rap? And I also got my eye on you.
Well, go ahead, then. Ask if there's any ghosts here.
Okay, now. If there's any ghosts here, rap 2 times. If there ain't, don't bother. No raps.
Oh, now say, if there are any ghosts, to rap 3 times.
Well, okay, but there won't be any. If there are any ghosts, rap 3 times. Junior, did you do that?
I didn't. Didn't you?
Frankly, no. Junior, where you going?
Out the window. Come on.
Oh, come back. Untie me, Junior. I can't get this chair through that window. Junior!
Oh, Pop! Pop, I can't get the nuts loose. I better go get a knife.
Junior, don't forget to come back. I had to open my big mouth for raps, and I got raps. Fine thing, all alone in a house with a... what's that? Who's that?
What are you doing in my house?
I must be going crazy.
Why did you come here?
I wouldn't stay, lady, only I got tied up.
I will loosen the knot.
Yeah, well, thanks. Who are you?
I am Alice Sherwin.
Now I know I'm crazy. I'm talking to a ghost.
Pop, I'm coming.
Well, Judy!
Please, don't tell anyone I'm here. I only want to be left alone. Here in my house.
I got a knife and... Pop, you're untied.
Yeah. And it was the ghost that done it. Wait a minute. Her hands. They weren't no ghost's hands. Junior, you go outside and wait for me.
What are you going to do, Pop?
I'm going to have another talk with that lady ghost.
Why did you want to see me, Mr. Riley?
Well, when I figured out you wasn't a ghost, I got to thinking how lonesome you must be in this house all alone. So I thought maybe you'd like to take a stroll over to my house and meet my family.
Oh, thank you, but
if you'd rather not talk, I'll go away.
No. Don't go yet. I mustn't be rude to my first guest in so long.
Oh, thanks. Must be kind of a shock when the first man you see in so long looks like I do.
Tell me about your family, Mr. Riley.
Well, my family's named Riley after me. Very nice people, too. That was my son, Junior, that was with me tonight.
It must be wonderful to have a son.
Oh, it's great. I got a daughter, too. A girl. She's 16 now. The boy's 13, but getting older all the time. Then there's Peg, that's my wife. She's older than the kids, but younger than me. Say, in that picture of you over the fireplace, I guess that fellow with you, that's your husband, huh?
Yes. That's Robert.
He's a good-looking fella. Maybe you'd rather not talk about him, though.
Silence won't bring him back.
My wife told me about what happened. Of course, she didn't know the part about your being here.
I don't want anyone to know. I want to stay here, alone, with his memory. It's the least I can do in loyalty to him.
Oh. You mean you think that's what he'd want you to do?
Of course. Does that surprise you?
Well, yes, ma'am, it does. I didn't know him, but from his picture there, I know he was a swell guy. I wouldn't think he'd want you locked up here, throwing the rest of your life away.
Do you think any man wants the wife he loved to forget him in a year or ever?
Well, no, but there's different ways of remembering.
I don't understand.
You can make his dying count for something by helping to beat the people who started this war and teaching the world that it won't pay to ever start another.
You think that I could help end this war?
Sure. Everybody can do something. The only thing a person can't do is do nothing.
Oh, I guess you think I've been very selfish, Mr. Riley.
Oh, no. No, you've been shut up in this empty house. You just didn't know what was going on. The people I can't understand are the ones who do know and still don't care. Those people live in something worse than an empty house. They live in an empty brain.
Well, I'm not one of them, Mr. Riley. You've given me something to think about. And I'm very grateful.
Oh, well, gee, that's fine. Well, I guess I'll be going. I'm sure glad you ain't no ghost. Of course, I ain't actually scared of ghosts because I know there ain't no ghosts. Are there?
Of course not.
But, you know, Mrs. Sherwin, it is kind of dark out in that garden, isn't it? Would you mind walking me to the gate?
Rileys will be back in a moment. Well, I think we can all agree with Riley that none of us here at home can sit this war out. The war isn't over in Europe, the war isn't over in the South Pacific, and the war isn't over in America's kitchens. You women who have signed up for the duration to keep health-giving meals on America's tables just can't pick out the meat you want and be sure of getting it every time these days. The needs of war are bound to make the varieties and quantities your meat man has vary from day to day. So let's all make good meals out of whatever meats are on hand. And remember this, all meats, regardless of cut or kind, have the same complete, highest quality, good-eating proteins that make meat a yardstick of protein foods. This statement and all statements regarding the nutritional value of meat made on this program are accepted by the Council on Foods and Nutrition of the American Medical Association.
Hiya, Dumpling. Hey, I got some big news about Halloween.
Yes?
Well, you know, I think I'm going to open up a one-man recruiting outfit. I'm going to recruit waves, wax, spars, and spooks.
Starring William Bendix next week at this time. This is Ken Niles saying, see you next week. This is the Blue Network.
7:30 KECA, Los Angeles.